July 17, 2024, approximately 6:06 p.m. Thank you for your patience. We have all our air conditioning. We will get through this meeting, hopefully. At this time, we'll have our, if everyone's ready, we'll have our roll call.
Commissioner Gomez,
Here.
Commissioner Lopez,
Here.
Commissioner Jimenez,
Here.
Vice Chair Shively,
Here.
Chair Hammond.
Here.
Thank you.
At this time, we'll have our Pledge of Allegiance led by Commissioner Gomez.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance.
To the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Item 4 is presentation, and I don't believe we have any presentation tonight. So we'll move on to item 5, consent calendar. 2 items. Item A, Planning Commission minutes for June 5th, 2024. And B is a street naming review, 24-05151. A proposal to name 5 streets within tentative track map 37038, located on the west side of Dunlap Drive between Orange Avenue and Lemon Avenue in the MFR 14 multifamily residential and planned development overlay zone. At this time, we can vote on each item separately, if you like. Item A, were there any changes, additions, deletions? Okay. No deletions, no? Okay, so if that was okay, we can, if our was our city attorney, we're just looking at item 5A, and we'll take it separately. So 5A with no objections, no changes, no deletions. Were there any ex parte communication? I'm going to do it anyway on the minutes for June 5th, 2024. Okay. Were there any ex parte on item, street naming item 24-05151? Okay. Okay. So we'll look at item A, 5A first. Planning Commission minutes for June 5th, 2024. You need a motion?
Chair Hammond, I recommend for public comment.
Oh, now with this one? Oh, okay. For each one?
So typically the consent calendar, both items are considered at once. And
Okay.
if you would choose to, you can consider them separately, but regardless, public
Yeah,
comment
okay.
should be.
I wasn't doing the other. Okay, I'll do it on right now. Together for both of them. Okay.
No, so you can either choose to consider them both together and all at once, or if you can separate them out and then have the process for each one where you allow.
I was going to separate them out because,
Okay,
yeah. because
for item A,
street
you-
naming, yeah.
okay. So for item A, you would do
Right,
the public
right.
comment.
So the public comment on item A, which is the minutes for June 5th, 2024. We got to do protocol here. Okay, seeing none, we close the public comment. We go for a motion on item 5A, Planning Commission minutes. Been moved by Commissioner Lopez. Okay, seconded by Commissioner Jimenez. Okay, and we can take a vote.
Commissioner Gomez,
I'm so sorry, Mike. I went blank right now. I believe I wasn't here that day, right? I was
Yeah.
out, so I'll just abstain.
Okay, one abstention from Commissioner.
Commissioner Lopez,
Yes.
Commissioner Jimenez,
Yes.
Vice Chair Shively,
Yes.
Chair Hammond.
Yes. And noted that this is a voice vote, just for the record. There we go.
Okay, so yeah, mine's not working. So my screen keeps turning on and off.
With a vote of 4 and 1 abstain, this motion is approved.
Thank you very much. We move on to item 5B, street naming review, 24-05151, a proposal to name 5 streets within tentative track map number 37038, located on the west side of Dunlap Drive between Orange Avenue and Lemon Avenue in the MFR 14 multifamily residential development overlay zone. At this time, I'm going to ask it again, was there any ex parte communications for this area? None. Okay. And I don't think we need to do public comment again. Public comment on this item. Street naming. Was there any public comment?
So sorry, Chair Hammond, you would do if there's a presentation, you do the presentation and then move to questions and
Okay, okay. If there are any ex parte, yeah, I just want to see if there was any. Okay.
I have none, however, my screen is not working.
Oh,
It turned on and off.
turn it off, yeah.
It was on, but it turned off.
It's been a while, so. Do we need IT to come over? Or? Mine just went out. Okay. Well, okay. Well, what we'll do, I went out again. Okay. Okay. Well, let's go on. As they're coming over to get ready, well, I just went out again. Okay. Does the city have a presentation at this time on this item? Oops.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Okay.
Hello?
Okay.
Okay. Good evening, Chairman Hammond and Commissioners. Today, staff will be presenting street name application 24-05151 for a total of 5 streets for a tentative track map 37038. The applicant is Dave Jensen.
Do us a favor for our benefit, just say who you are.
Oh, my name is Monica.
Okay. Okay.
Sorry. Oh, it's not showing. So the project site is located on the west of Dunlap Drive between Orange Avenue and Lemon Avenue. It is on the west side of it is at the west side of the city. It's bordering the County of Riverside jurisdiction. It is in the MFR 14 zone, and it has a planned development overlay. The tentative track map was approved on February 28, 2017, and it is to subdivide 14.5 acres into 111 units. The applicant is now requesting the street name approval for a total of 5 streets in order to process the final map. The proposed names for the street are Street A, we have Grove Drive, Street B, Pomelo Drive, Street C, Cedarling Road, Street D, Cherry Road, Street E, Calamansi Road. Staff recommends Planning Commission approve street name review 24-05151. This concludes staff presentation. Are there any comments?
We'll wait for, if the applicant is here, we'll let the applicant come, if they have any statement at all or any comments.
They said they would be here. Are they here? I don't see them.
Okay. Applicant's not here. Okay, is there any questions for staff?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
I do have one question.
Oh,
Can we go to the map that has, so, let me see. I'm looking for the roads because I like that going north to south, it's roads, across is drives. That's done on purpose?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know what theme they were using for that?
The theme was botanical terms. Sorry.
Botanical terms?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Anyone else? Oh, it's been a while, right? That's what it is. Okay. Okay, so thank you very much. Yeah. Is there any public comment on this item 5B? Any public comment? Seeing none, we close the public comment and bring it to a commission discussion.
I like the names that were used. I actually went over it and I really like the calamansi stood out for me because I personally have one in my backyard. So I'm like, oh, that's different. And those who may not know what it is, they can look it up. I think they were nice, very well chosen.
Anyone else? You guys awake or what's going on now? Is this the planning commission affairs? No. Okay.
I did really like that, I like having that distinction. If they go one way, it's road, and drive the other way, kind of keeps that uniformity. I lived in Rancho for a long time, so when I saw Grove, I had a little bit of a flashback. So I also really like the names and very botanical type names.
You guys okay?
I don't see no issues with the names that are here. They're, the other ones I find are a little bit less suitable than what's already provided.
Okay. It is our discussion. So there's no additions. The proposed street names needs to be okay as is. So with that be the case, would someone like to make a motion on names for TM 37038? It's been moved by Commissioner Jimenez, seconded by Commissioner Gomez, to approve street naming review 24-05-151 as is with the proposed street names as stated in TM-37038. And we have a motion, we have a second, and now it's time for the,
Commissioner Gomez,
Yes.
Commissioner Lopez,
Yes.
Commissioner Jimenez,
Yes.
Vice Chair Shively,
Yes.
Chair Hammond.
yes.
With a vote of 5-0, this motion is approved.
Thank you very much, Sylvia. We move on to item 6A. Item 6A is conditional use permit, 21-05102. A proposal to construct a 12,067 square foot religious facility on .51 acres located on the northeast corner of Orange Avenue and Barrett Avenue in the commercial community zone. The requested action is to adopt resolution number 24-09, finding the project is categorically exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act, CEQA, review pursuant to section 15332, infill development projects, and approving CUP 21-05102, based on the findings and subject to the conditions of approval. Are there any ex parte communications or site visits or anything that you like, or ad hoc committee you'd like to say concerning this project? Right to left, left to right.
I've driven by the site.
Frequently drive by the site.
Participated in an ad hoc meeting for this.
I drive by the site often and know the location well.
Okay. And same here, often, driven by the site recently, on the site, actually. Okay. At this time, Lupita, long time, make a presentation from the city.
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Lupita Garcia, Associate Planner. Tonight, we have CUP 21-05102. It's an application to construct a 12,067 square foot religious facility in the commercial community zone. So the project site is located on the northeast corner of Orange Avenue and Barrett Avenue. It is located behind the multi-tenant building adjacent to Cardenas Market within the Paris Spectrum Shopping Center. Surrounding uses include commercial development to the north and east and vacant land to the south and west. The project site is in the commercial community zone. Religious facilities are permitted in the commercial community zone with a conditional use permit. This is a picture of the site from Orange Avenue looking north. Here we have a picture of the site from Barrett Avenue looking east. And here we have the site plan. Access to the site is provided from two existing driveways along Orange Avenue and Barrett Avenue. The religious facility will have 85 parking spaces, 19 of which are provided on the same parcel, and 66 parking spaces are provided within the shopping center. The applicant has entered into a reciprocal parking and access agreement with the shopping center to utilize the parking spaces. This is the first floor plan. The building is 2 stories. The first floor is 7,556 square feet, and it contains a prayer area, a lobby, a dining area, kitchen, offices, a kinder room, storage room, and restrooms. Here we have the second floor plan. The second floor plan is 4,511 square feet, and it contains a prayer balcony, offices, meditation rooms, and restrooms. This is the landscape plan. The trees that are going to be used include crepe myrtle, Chinese pistache, little gem dwarf southern magnolias, and the shrubs include Little John, Chapel Hill yellow lantana, and Agave americana century plant. The proposed project provides 23.4% landscaping. The project complies with the Paris Municipal Code Commercial Community Development Standards. It also complies with the Paris Municipal Code Parking Standards. This is a nighttime rendering. This is the view from the intersection of Barrett and Orange Avenues. The proposed building elevations include a color palette consistent of shades of dark brown, tan, pewter, and copper. The materials include stacked stone veneer, metal roofing, and tan split face to distinguish the building's base, body, cap, and roof. The building's design elements utilize a combination of varying roof lines, arched windows, a tower, a minaret, a dome, and parapets to conceal the roof mechanical equipment from public view. The building's main entries are recessed and provide additional articulation. In this exhibit, we see the east elevation on top and the west elevation below. The top view is the view from Barrett Avenue, and the image below is the view from Orange Avenue. And here we have the north elevation and the south elevation. The project is categorically exempt from CEQA per section 15332 for infill development projects. Staff recommends adoption of Resolution 2409, finding the project categorically exempt from CEQA and approving conditional use permit 2024-05102. Based on the staff report and subject to the conditions of approval, this concludes my presentation tonight. I am available, and the applicant is also here should you have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lupita. And if the applicant at this time would like to come and make a presentation or whatever you'd like to say at this time, you want to come forward? And just state your full name for us and spell your last name for us.
Good afternoon or good evening, all commissioners. My name is Shoaib Siddiqui. I'll spell it S like Sam, Iddiqui. And Ms. Lupita has already made the presentation about the project. Unless you have any specific questions, I'm here to answer those.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Don't go far. We never know. Are there any questions by the staff? Because I do have a few, and/or the applicant, and we can start as always with Isaac.
Thank you, Lupita, for the presentation. I have a question with regards to the landscaping. It's 23%. Does that include the landscaping that's on the parking lot of the shopping center, or is it just on site?
That's just going to be the on-site landscaping.
And then I saw that the landscaping plans includes landscaping for the parking lot as well. So
They are going to be updating some of the landscaping within the existing commercial center.
awesome. So it's even more than 23.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Another question about the building: is there going to be an elevator or wheelchair accessibility?
That's what I saw. Thank you.
Yes, the building does have an elevator.
Okay, all right, perfect.
I'm sorry, 2 elevators.
2 elevators. Okay, that's right next to the stairs, huh? The squares. Got you. And you don't have to happen to have a material board, so I could just see the colors and stuff like that.
We do, I'm so
Awesome.
sorry.
No worries. I just want to get a better feel of it. The striping on the building, that's is that gonna be like paint or coloring, or is it like what exactly is gonna make the different colors? Is that like brick veneer?
The brick veneer is, available in the same, the colors all manufactured in factory. So
Uh-huh. So it's gonna be brick veneer.
It's brick veneer and it lasts long. It's otherwise the trim you see that also comes from the factory.
Got you.
And also it will have its own, the colors are identified, and we have contacted the factories and they are the ones who are going to give us.
Got you. All right, thank you so much. That's it. I have no further questions. Oh wait, one more question. The entrance is gonna be on the corner, the southwest corner. That's gonna be the entrance for.
Yeah, looking it like looking east.
Looking east?
Yeah. The main entrance is from looking east from Barrett.
Oh, got you.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much.
But there is an entrance coming from Orange also.
Okay. I think it's this one. Right?
Yeah.
I can follow up on the landscape question. Thank you for the presentation, Lupita, and thank you for coming here to present this really beautiful building. It's really nice, and I know that I met with some of the staff in regards at the ad hoc meeting, and we did discuss it. We had a lot of questions at that time, and I do appreciate that the applicant was willing to listen and to make some changes. In regards to the landscape, do we know, is the owner of the commercial center here today? In case we have questions regarding the landscape?
We have the
representative?
center's project construction manager here.
Okay, wonderful. So it's my understanding that the landscape there's going to be a partial landscape update on the side of the commercial center. So as we understand, and we can all agree on, that commercial center has plenty of opportunity for a facelift, right? It's been here for a long time, and we really appreciate that you're continuing the growth of your community within our city, and specifically with this shopping center. However, my question is, has there been an agreement, or is there anything in the works in regards to the rest of the shopping center's landscape. The reason I'm asking is because when you update only one part of the shopping center and the other part of the shopping center is not updated, there is no cohesiveness, and it takes away from the beauty of what could be the view of the shopping center in its whole. So I'd
Commissioner
like to
Gomez?
know.
So sorry. I just want to make sure that we're only asking questions during this portion of the item for the public hearing.
Am I allowed to explain why I'm asking the question?
Preferably just asking the questions, and then the discussion portion can create more of that conversation.
Very well. I did ask the question, so is there a response, or would you like me to repeat the question?
Yes, my name is Rob Fritzmeyer. I'm construction manager for the owner. We actually just completed a pretty nice resurface of the parking lot, and resealed the parking lot, restriping, signage. And we actually did some earlier this year, late last year, some additional landscaping. That is also still in the works for other areas that need to be addressed. So yes, that is all in, if that answers your question, that is definitely all in the works and being worked on as we speak.
And since you brought up the parking striping and the resurfacing, when this specific project began construction, when will that be completed in that section?
The parking lot resurfacing and stuff,
Yes.
we just completed it 3-4 weeks ago, a month ago, maybe a month ago.
For the reciprocal agreement?
For the entire shopping center.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
I'm sorry, it doesn't look complete. I guess that's another conversation to have with staff later.
Let me rephrase that.
Okay.
There is an area that is correct, that is not complete. It's in the works of that. The majority of the shopping center is complete. It's actually a smaller area that's out, I guess it's closer to this lot where this is at. It's in the works. It's in the budget, it's in the plans, probably still again this year, but it's a part of it. But we completed I don't know, probably 75% of the rest of the entire shopping center.
So if there's striping on the parking space, that means it's been completed?
So
If there's new striping?
specific areas like the WSS,
How about Wells Fargo?
Wells Fargo is brand new. I mean, it's the complete.
I know, we want to
resurface.
stay within the project, but he did open it up to the entire shopping center, so that's why I'm,
Yeah, no, but yeah.
unless
Wells Fargo-
council thinks that we
Wells
should go
Fargo's
back,
done.
then please do.
Commissioner Gomez, I do advise that we should be focusing on the project at
project
hand
itself.
and not other projects, correct?
Right. So I guess that's, like I said earlier, I guess it's a conversation we need to have with staff, and I can definitely bring it up and comment. But you said that portion has been completed, the part that is in reciprocal with the Islamic Center?
Wells Fargo, you just said, right?
No. The part that is, unless that's part of the reciprocal agreement, is that part of the reciprocal? I don't think it is. I'm just
The part,
reciprocal-
asking if that's
the
going to be
part
completed
that
at the
is
same time.
East.
Where the
of
shared parking is,
Domino's,
that is in-
Domino's Pizza, that part.
That is,
That's
that
related
is,
to this, so,
that is in the works.
okay.
Will that be
Meaning-
completed at the same time as before or after this?
Completed.
That'll be completed before this is done, easily.
Okay. That was the question. Okay, thank you.
We'll get there. Anyone else?
Lupe, what is required parking for this building?
The religious facility requires 60 parking spaces, and 85 parking spaces are being provided. 19 of those spaces are on-site, and the other spaces are within the shopping center.
So there's proposed additional 25 parking spaces.
There's a surplus of 25, yes.
So they don't absolutely need them, but where they're trying to locate them is actually is taking up parking spaces from the other tenants, potentially tenants at the other, in the other locations of the parking. So it basically taken up the majority of the shopping center on that south side of the shopping center, including the multi-tenant buildings and the buildings such as the animal hospital, et cetera, down on the south side, the restaurant that's on that corner as well. So, I know it's a recyclable parking, but you're taking a majority of the parking in that space. Is there another way to handle the additional parking space? Can they park potentially in their convenience area?
Vice Chair,
Yeah.
Vice Chair, can I explain?
Yes.
See, we have the, if you look at our daily schedule and weekly schedule, our services, there are two services every day, 5 a.m. in the morning and 8 p.m. in the evening. Say they do not conflict with the parking, the parking over there. And the only other services is on the Fridays from 1 to 1:35, 35, 40 minutes services. That's where we have the majority. On the daily services, we have on average of 8 members only. So nobody will be parking during the daily services. Only Fridays, we will be needing those parking spaces. And then we have 2 religious gatherings per year. And I think our director, volunteer director is here. He just told me that they use, they use that gym there, So currently this facility is in a shopping center on Paris Boulevard and Ramona Expressway, yeah. And I've been there many times. I've never seen any parking issue at all. There are always plenty of parking spaces.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
I almost sneezed. I was trying to hold it back.
Thank you for, I did also have a question on the parking, on why there was so little, but I was calculating how many families average, because I did see the note on there. Now, my concern is for the traffic. How close are those driveways? Can you remind me? The new one that we're building for the mosque and,
The 2 along Orange Avenue.
yes.
Okay, yeah, I believe they're about 200 feet spaced apart.
And what do we usually recommend?
It depends on what type of road, and volumes of traffic. We try to maximize it as much as we can, but
Okay.
the California Highway Design Manual, it only requires 20 feet of curb in between
Okay.
driveways, so it's obviously meeting that, but we try to, maximize it when we can to, 200, 300 feet apart.
And that would be right in, right out, right?
Yes,
Because
yes,
there's that,
There's a median there.
the median there.
Right.
Okay.
The one on Barrett would be full access, but
Full
Orange
access
Avenue, right in, right out.
Is full access.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the reciprocal one is full access as well.
Yes.
Do we foresee an issue with that? Thinking about current situation with traffic flow there, already with the traffic flow within the reciprocal access area?
No, with the amount of traffic this facility is bringing in, and again, it's a Friday afternoon, it looks like it'd be a peak hour.
That's when we
it's-
order pizza.
Yeah, now it's all being delivered too now, but, but with the amount of traffic this facility is generating, it's very minimal and shouldn't have any noticeable effect on the whole, Orange Avenue and the whole shopping center itself.
Okay, and the reciprocal access, would that be from here in the future? Because I know that their location required a certain amount of parking spots, and they're complying or meeting that requirement by using reciprocal access. If that shopping center is sold or transfers ownership, does that just continue until when?
I believe it's continuous forever, but that's more planning question.
That is correct, yes. It runs with the project. It's
Okay.
recorded with the land, so it's not something they can ignore.
Okay.
It will show in the title report.
And I think Commissioner Gomez asked, who's responsible for the landscaping maintenance of the reciprocal access parking?
That would be a question for the shopping
Okay.
center management.
Yeah, it's the developer, the shopping center is responsible for on-site. They do that.
Okay.
For on-site, just for on-site as well as around the building?
No, just for their reciprocal parking area.
Okay, so then the applicant will be responsible, question, so will the applicant be responsible for the one around the mosque?
Yeah, the
Or
shopping.
the community
ce-
center?
Yeah, the shopping center is owned by Atlas Properties. And this land and is being financed by the shopping center owner. And he owns that shopping center. They're also the one where currently the religious facility is. So he's 100% behind it, yes.
Okay. The shopping responsible? No, just for the one of the reciprocal around the community center mosque, it's the, them.
Oh, yes. Yeah, yes.
Yeah, they are responsible,
You are
yes.
correct, Commissioner.
I heard him. I got him.
I didn't
And
get your question.
you answered it, thank you.
So Spectrum Valley Center LP, they actually are responsible for the entire shopping center.
Okay,
So that's all the way
that's that
like-
area, the reciprocal, not their
That's
area.
all the way like WSS, all the way over there, all
Yeah.
the way over here. So it's the entire, it's that entire shopping center.
Yeah, but with this project, they're only committing to this little space right here.
This project will also be responsible of Spectrum LP for
Okay,
them as well.
okay,
Yeah, it all incorporates back to them to take care of the entire landscaping.
okay.
Okay, so just for the record, the entire shopping center includes this building, and the shopping center management is responsible for the landscape with this building as well.
That, they will be, yes. That's
Yes,
correct.
Yes,
Thank you. Okay, thank you.
yeah.
Because, so, no, reciprocal,
Yeah,
the
it's
entire
all
thing.
of it.
Okay, thank you for clarifying that.
And then, can we go back to the elevations, please? Because you all know we're a very detailed commission. I like it's not, like, the top one, it's not balanced. Like, we have windows on the left, we have the two in the middle, and then the right side has nothing. So I feel like it's missing even fake windows or something, just to kind of have a balance. The architect is over here laughing at me. Something to kind of, because it feels like it's really enhance, and then it's kind of just like walls. But it's missing towards Barrett. Yeah. And then same thing with the bottom one, it kind of goes the other way, where it's like beautiful, and then it kind of just falls off. So yeah. Yeah, no, I know that's why they are, but you can still balance it. Like, you can still add fake ones. It doesn't have to be real windows or anything, just to make the exterior look, yeah.
I think some of those are not provided because of, I think, the restrooms, but what we can do for the elevation, we can just do the fake windows there.
Yes, fake windows. Thank you, yes. Just to balance it out,
Yes,
yes.
yes, that's a good comment. We can do that, yes.
Thank you. And then looking at, and can I see the color palette? So it's hard to see the colors here, and it's hard to see them here because this is a print. This is an actual like color ticket. This one, yeah. So the trim on, what is it? PT2, that's called Chateau Brown for the trim. Here it looks gray, and I like the way it looks here with like the darker gray because it really brings in, I don't know what the correct term is for the not for the dome, the tower. Yeah. So I think something that matches the tower a little bit more and kind of extends instead of the brown. Because I like the way it looks here on the printouts and on the screen here, it doesn't look brown. It looks more of like a darker gray. And then,
Commissioner Gomez, sorry, Commissioner Jimenez. If I may, I just want to make sure that we're,
asking.
during this portion, we're asking
Yeah.
questions. If the question is,
Okay.
hey, why is there a certain color decided on? Are you open to X, Y, and Z color?
So are you open to changing the color so it's more of a gray so it matches the tower? Or is there a reason for the colors?
I don't have an objection to that. I think the board you have is more of a representative, and we print it on a larger scale. It may not be coming that clear. So that directly from the manufacturers. So hopefully that will be better.
Yeah, but it looks really brown here and it kind of doesn't match everything else. I think like a darker color, the color of the tower is really pretty.
Okay.
So continuing that instead of adding the extra brown, and then I think that will all, okay, I'm not explaining.
Okay.
And then I think also, did you consider back here this little shorter version? It kind of looks like it fell off. I don't know if we can add like something else, a feature there to just kind of bring it together to the rest of the building, or is
On the entrance
Yeah.
you're talking about?
the end piece?
It's okay. We can think of, we can work with the staff to come up with something, yeah, on that one.
Okay. And that was it for me. Yeah, go ahead.
Question that I have, is there any public announcement or bell or chiming that will come from the spire at any time during the day, or is it?
No, it's all confined.
internal?
All the speaker system and everything is confined.
Internal, okay,
Right. Yeah. And that's how it is right now in the existing facility too.
okay, thank you.
Okay, I'll try not to let the pain go too much longer. No, real quick, 3 observations. This is not discussion. This is just specific items for the COA. Number one, we're talking about reciprocal agreements. We're talking about this, and when the facility has been something. Would it be possible to have that in the COA if it's not in there? That requires that a reciprocal agreement be done, a condition of approval. I'm asking planning staff now. Because if you're going to say reciprocal agreement, like developmental agreement, like other agreements, if it's not there, maybe I missed it, but it would be nice to have a paragraph saying this reciprocal agreement with the landowner will be subject to, that to be in place for this, in order for this to be done, because that's a necessity. So, and if you're going to, in essence, put it in writing, the condition of approval would be one of those things that you'd have to see before, rather than, we all believe each other, but, it's trust but verify. So if it's there as a COA approval, as a statement, this reciprocal agreement concerning these number of parking spaces in this location, because the hours and how many people and all that, you have Domino's Pizza, you have some other stuff, a few people hanging around there probably shouldn't be. But that would be something I would suggest to have in place.
Great comment. We do have a condition of approval, number 34,
Yeah.
prior to issuance of occupancy permit. There is a requirement for reciprocal access on parking agreement, but we can certainly be a little
Detail.
more detailed to
Yeah.
add the number of parking
Yes.
spaces that will be allocated to the temple.
Yes, and that landscaping will be the responsibility of whatever the name of this Atlas company is. We won't get into it because I do agree with Hoopy about, but we can't talk about the rest of it. But just those roles and that particular thing related to this project, I'm a person, I have a contract background, so I have to be very detailed. I'm used to dealing with attorneys. So that's one reason. The other thing too, and this is something I bring on from other projects, elevators are included in here, but there's nothing in here about elevator specs. I'm kind of getting a little bothered by not seeing that on the second, third, fourth project. Specifically, I care about building and safety, I don't care about elevators shall be according to what code? Okay, so we don't have that in condition of approval. It should be engineering, but according to what? So according to what standard is elevators? You got 2 elevators. ADA, it's not just ADA, it's about California Building Code, such and such and such. At least a statement concerning that requirement, I think, should be in as well. And I think that's something I saw another project and I mentioned that, and I think they dropped that project quick, but if you're going to have an elevator, it's a safety issue. I don't care where it is. If you have an elevator, something can happen, and we want to make sure it's up to code, but it should be a condition of approval that is signed off. So that's for any project, because it's necessary, because people need to get up and down. I'm surprised more things don't have elevators. How are you supposed to get upstairs? Old people like me, okay, half old, okay, want to be able to get up and down, and you want to be able to make sure that when you get on it, that the standards set here, so just anybody just build it.
If I can just add, the building and safety conditions do require the project to comply with the 2022 California Building Code,
yeah.
Electrical Code, Mechanical Code, Energy Code, Fire Code, Green Building Code standards, and also comply with Title 24 access regulations and ADA access regulations.
Yeah, I'd like you to say elevator. A separate section for elevator will comply with those things. And the reason why I'm saying this, it's not just ADA, but if something goes wrong, we want to make.
So I would just add in there the California Elevator Code.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I mean. So we specifically want to make sure we build it if we approve it.
Commissioner
according to-
Shively, would that be 2022?
Yeah, it is 2022.
Okay,
What is going on?
thank you.
I know I'm being petty. I have to be, Commissioner. And I want to make sure too, man, we'll let you go. Entryway is from the east off Butler. What is this street?
Barrett.
Barrett Avenue. Is it Barrett?
Yeah.
So the entry is from Barrett, it's not from Orange.
There is an entry both sides, but
Yeah.
majority of because main entrance is from Barrett,
Yeah.
but there is another entrance. If you look at the elevations,
Yeah.
East and west elevations, there is an west elevation, there is an entry there also. But it's a secondary entry, yeah.
Oh, that's from the east then.
Yeah, with the east, looking east from standing at Barrett
Yeah.
is the main entrance.
Right.
Looking west, coming from Orange is the secondary entrance.
Okay. But the entry is from that, if you go in the driveway in that other building, the back of the building, there's an entry. Okay, so, and I have a question, and I promise we'll last one. I went over there, the back of those places, and if there was a grade from A to F, it would be below F. So either there needs to be painted on the building, some structure there, the trash trellises, the trash cans were outside. See, I'm very picky, so I go over there and look at it. The trash cans were outside, a guy drove up. I mean, it's really filthy. And with respect to the religious institution, you gotta have some respect, at least have something decent in the back. So that's one of those things where they're dumping boxes back there, there's dumping, and I wouldn't want to have an entry there anywhere for anybody respecting. To go in and have to look at that in the back, it's kind of disrespectful to me. So it's not your fault, but I mean, there needs to be something to where if it's conditioned, that would have to be cleaned up. And that would be to be one of those things where, I think there was something about painting it in here, but it may need more than paint. So that's an owner to the applicant thing, but at least where we make sure that that back, which is a delivery, there's a delivery place with gate, roll-up gate that's on the north side, then there's a trash can trellis on the other side. So when you entry from that side, that's the first thing I thought of, that's the first thing you're looking at. So that's one of those things, if it's not a condition, that's just one of those things we need to consider as part of it in more detail.
We do have condition of approval 16 for the trash enclosures.
Yeah, I know.
And Rob is here. He can provide an update regarding what their plans are for the trash enclosures.
Okay, I appreciate it.
Yeah, actually, I was reading that today, so that is in the conditions of approval to change that, add trellis to it. We're gonna have to add some rough sawn beams to it, and then there's also it's a mesh that goes around for safety and stuff like that. So it actually should match the other ones in the rest of the shopping center, which I already have a detail for it. So, and then I saw that in there, that's the requirement. So yeah, that will be done and repainted as well.
Okay, I think that's a consideration, that's what we're asking, is repainting and make it look decent, since that is proposed as an entry. The first thing you got to think of, do we really want to look at that?
Oh yeah, I know what it looks like already.
It's not an alley in New York, where I've been. Okay, if you've been in New York and alleys, you know what I'm talking about. Okay.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, that's it for me, unless someone else has some.
I did have 2 questions. One follow-up on the trash enclosure, because I saw that it was supposed to match the shopping center. Is that trash enclosure only going to be used for this center, or is it going to be general use for those surrounding areas, or where's?
I probably would have to look and see who's all on that right now. On that particular one you're referring to? Yeah. I'd have to look and see exactly what tenants there are that are on that.
Okay, because Domino's is over there, and you got a few of them, and come on, they're not going to put it in the front, so they're going to put it in the back. So I don't know what kind of agreement they have, but you can see the boxes. Yeah.
Each one of their tenants has the agreement of the shared trash enclosure, so that is on there, okay?
Right.
I thought there was another one around there too for the store, but again, I'd have to look back and
Okay.
see. But basically, those tenants in that building in front are all a part of that shared agreement. So, what's there, 6 or 7,
Yeah.
maybe? Something like that in the front there, something about like that.
Okay.
So that will be shared between everybody. And is staff going to approve that before they get developed or painted? Because remember, we're not trying to stick to those browns and tans anymore in the city.
The condition of approval is prior to building permit issuance. So typically, the way that it works is when the building is ready, they contact the planner, and then we go out and do a site inspection. And if something isn't done, something doesn't look right, we cannot sign off their permit card.
Okay, but you will see it beforehand, right? Because I don't want it to be bit that's done and then we have to hold it even longer because it wasn't something that staff had agreed to.
Yes, because they will be submitting plans for plan check, and they'll have to include details with colors for their trash enclosure.
Okay, and my second question was about signage for the center. I didn't see anything on signage or anything. Is there going to be any signage provided?
You might as well just stay up here. We can still
Yeah.
That's right. Specifically, what signage? There's always signage we have to have, so. I'm
Well,
not
I mean,
sure.
because I know the location where they're at now in Ramona and Paris. And
Right.
I remember, I forget exactly what it reads, but is that going to be transferred onto this building? Is that going to be placed somewhere on the building? Is there going to be some kind of, what are they called, the little one, nice ones on the floor? Landmark, like, I didn't see any kind of signage with this,
Yeah,
even on the
that'll be,
building.
that'll be all a part. I don't know about an additional monument sign. I haven't seen one unless you have one on there. Do you know of one? Probably not. Probably not, but there is a pylon sign, if I recall, right close by that'll have this will be a part of all that. So
Okay, but the building itself won't have signage, it's just going to be
the
part of
building
it.
itself will have, well, I don't think it'll have any, I don't think you have any signage on your building, do you? I don't think so. Probably not on the building itself.
Okay. So, much into city then is, if it isn't part of this plan and there isn't a signage on the building attached to it already, can they still go in and add a sign without being approved, or?
They have to apply, they have to submit for a separate administrative sign application for any signs that they're proposing for the building or the monument sign, if there's a desire to have a monument sign.
Okay,
for-
perfect, thank you. Those are my 2 questions. Oh, I do have one more. Back to the trash enclosure, because you say they're shared and they know which ones they're supposed to use. Is each development or each business given a key where they only have access to open the one that they have? Or how does that work when we're sharing? Because mine's
Right.
full, I'll go over there.
Right now, that's why this one has to be redone, which it will be redone, if not sooner, because I don't think there is a key.
There
But
isn't.
yeah, that's
It's
basically
usually
usually
open.
what happens is the tenants that are a part of that shared agreement for that trash enclosure
Okay.
have a key, which, that'll have it on there.
Okay.
So it eliminates someone else from using it, correct. Right
'cause
now, probably not so much.
Closest, easiest. Thank you.
So just a quick statement, the trash enclosure that is shown is not currently ADA compliant and will have to be reworked so it can be ADA compliant?
That is correct. Couldn't hear you, but she did.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay. Thank you to Peter. At this time, we'd like to open it up for public comment on this item, 6A only. And if anyone has a public comment, they're welcome to come forward to the rostrum, podium, whatever you want to call it. And you have 3 minutes to speak on this item and this item only. So you're welcome at this time. Okay, seeing no public comment, we close the public comment portion and the hearing, and we bring it to discussion for the Planning Commission for this particular item. Anyone can start? Sure.
I just want to start off by saying I think this is a very beautiful building. I think it's perfect for the location. It's going to elevate that area a lot. I've driven by the previous location on Paris and Ramonas, and this is such a huge upgrade, so I'll be happy to see this for you guys' community. This is going to be a huge up for you guys. And I think this is going to help out that area because like the surrounding businesses, I think after the hours of worship, people are going to leave and go to the shopping center and spend time there. So it's going to benefit the entire community or the entire shopping center. I think this is good. I have no issues with it, and I'm happy and I'm excited to see it built.
Yes, I agree. I think it's a very beautiful building. I wish it would be in a more central location where it could be appreciated more when you drive by. It's kind of hidden. But I know that this development is going to bring some type of beauty to the landscape and to the area, especially with this shopping center in mind. And I'm not apologetic for asking in regards to the entire shopping center, especially when when Rob kind of, indicated me in saying, yes, it does include the entire, it's part of, right, the maintenance is part of the entire shopping center. However, I do understand why we needed to focus on the project itself, but again, it's part of the entire shopping center. And we do want to see, there has been development already in that city, and that shopping center. There's been plenty of development and new buildings, remodels. I think to the point where it should have been resurfaced. The entire thing should have been resurfaced by now. Again, this is my opinion. And the entire landscape should have been updated by now, everything. So that's why it's a concern as to why it's taking so long. And if this is another one that's coming in as well, can we use this opportunity to say, can we please have an update as to what's going on, when's it going to be completed? Because the residents of the city of Paris want to know, right? So I think that's where my continued, expressions come from. But I can't wait to see it. I think it's going to be really beautiful. I personally love the entire elevation the way it is. I think that adding the additional request that Commissioner Jimenez requested, I can see how it's going to balance the building from one end to the other. But the color itself, I think it's beautiful. I think the pewter tower is going to stand out. It's going to contrast on the copper dome, and that's going to be really beautiful. It's going to reflect, and it's going to be something to really appreciate. So thank you for considering to continue your growth of your community with the city of Paris. And that's all I have. Thank you.
So I do, being an architect, I do appreciate the actual design elements of what the mosque is and what it really stands for. I do appreciate, again, the color of the spire, the color of the copper dome, and all the elements that are being built onto this. It fits what a mosque really should be. So with that, but looking at other elements of the issue is the landscaping, and it's just not this particular site, but we have other sites around the city of Paris that the landscaping is completely neglected, and we're working towards trying to get them to improve that, so it's just not an attack on this particular parcel, but it's across many areas of the city, so that's important to us. We want to make the city of Paris look brilliant, and everybody wants to come live here, stay here, shop here, so that's important for us. And landscaping and resurfacing the asphalt is one of the ways to show that attraction, and that owners want to be here, shoppers want to be here, and tenant owners and business owners want to be in the shopping center. So I think it's very important that those are things that are updated and continuously monitored as this project moves forward and as this project ends and the building is open. So I think that's very important for us. I really appreciate it again. Thank you.
I also think it's a beautiful building, and based on my comment about adding the gray, when I look at the one with the low lighting and from the building and the landscape uplighting, I'll leave it to staff to see if the color that is there now is what would enhance it, because I think it really works with the copper and the other stone colors to really make it pop. So I'll leave that up to staff to see which color you all think works, because on the pictures here with the on the computer, it looks nice with that brown color, just adding a little pop of color. I think this is very needed. I think going from where you are now to here, this is exactly where you deserve to be. The Islamic Center deserves something like this that is highlighted, somewhere where people can go and feel welcome and true part of our community. My only two concerns with this, and it has nothing to do with the Islamic Center, is the landscape and maintenance of that shopping center has been very disappointing over time, like extremely. We shop there all the time, and I mean, I've almost gotten flats when it's raining and you don't see the potholes. Like it's. I'm very positively hopeful, but have been very disappointed in the past. But I am hopeful that something like this is really going to elevate it, because that's not a very welcoming area. Second of all, the parking that's right in front of the Domino's and all that, I've almost been hit a couple times, so I always park on the other side because of the traffic ingress and egress from that already existing driveway. People like that's a high-speed pursuit area when people are coming on. Like, they're in a hurry to get their pizza, to get to their groceries. So that strip, particularly those parking stalls right in front of that existing building, are high risk. I've seen kids run out between cars trying to go to the other area. That's my concern with that. So the parking, safety, especially like if you're parking there and walking over to the Islamic Center, like, people are not always careful with pedestrians. So I'm concerned for the safety of those attending, especially if it's families, because, kids like to run, they like to play. Elderly take a little bit longer crossing streets and crossing driveways. So that's my main concern, is the safety for those parking in that area trying to get to Islamic Center. And also hoping that with such a beautiful building, we also upkeep the landscaping to enhance it and keep it looking this beautiful, not just when it's first installed, but the long term.
Yeah, again, thank you for patience, and we do this normally, so we don't do this to one. We do this to all of our people that come back. Some are a lot rougher, but I think essentially, if you want diversity in the community, this is the meaning of diversity. So no matter what your background, really, this is something that has come before us, and you look at it objectively. We want to have the best product. We want the best thing to come before it, so we're going to ask questions because we want the best presentation. At first, I was shocked it was going to be squeezed in there. It says, I don't have space because it's really kind of squeezed in the corner, but the layout is what it is. You got spaces. The only thing I would say is that from walking from, and I've been over in that parking lot, Could be now, there were some improvements, landscaping, things like that were done. I'm not going to talk about the rest. And the reason, even though I said anything, is because procedurally and Brown Act reasons, we didn't want to go into the other stuff because we may later on have to talk to the developer of the entire project. So that's something you can bring up as a meeting, as an agenda for them. And in the Wayville Paris Plaza, that's another one, but you have to talk about the developer, the whole thing, and a separate issue. So it's just a legal matter. That's the only reason. But essentially, walking from that parking lot there should be enough adequate lighting along that sidewalk area to get to there when you have night events, because it's not always going to be summer. You can have winters, and it gets dark at 5:30, 5-something. So the lighting from that sidewalk area to the front may be something that would be a consideration. And I'm not sure I don't even think there's a post there right now. I don't think there is. So that's a consideration, whether it's lighting on the street or things like that, as a consideration to walk from there. Little stuff that this planning commission will pick up, most won't, we do. So just walking from that parking lot there, you want to make sure safety. And there's enough lighting, whether it's on the building or there's up lighting or whatever, to get inside and out of there at night. That's always a consideration for there. So that's something that's not always thought of. We do. It's one of the qualities of this commission. We will do it. We will think about it. And my other thing, and lastly, I'll be quiet, is the trash structure and all that in the back just needs to be cleaned up. If that's gonna that to me is okay now, but that was okay when it was built back in the 90s. Okay, when that Walmart was there, and I've been here before Walmart was here. So how long I've been here. But the thing is, I mean, that's kind of the old-fashioned, just throw stuff up there. But when you have facilities like this, you want it to be decent and clean and respectful. So that's all I'm saying. It's not, you don't have to make gold paint. But the idea is that where it's cleaned up enough to where it's respectful. So you look at the back of it, you don't have to go, like here trellises and trash areas will be separated and clean. That was my only concern with that. So I don't have anything else. I think we mentioned, unless there's any other comments, some of the things we have added, and I'll go through with the planning commission if we want to enter. Oh, you got some?
To ask for, can we request for something from staff now or at the end? Or, 'cause I don't want to open I don't want to open anything up again. I just have a request from staff. I'd like some materials regarding the shopping center. Can I do it after?
You can do it now. This is discussion period. You can ask a
Okay.
question to staff.
Okay, thank you. So I just wanted to ask staff if they could provide a calendar with or the dates, the projected completion of the shopping center landscape in its entirety, and the parking resurfacing. And that's just from my personal information.
But that would be separate from this project, right?
Yes.
It's not tied to this project. Yes, we can certainly work with Rob and provide that information to the commission.
Okay. Thank you. That's it.
Okay, thanks. Okay, let me go to this. So this is item 6A, it's conditional use permit. I'm going to read it anyway, it's short. A proposal to construct a 12,067 square foot religious facility on .51 acres located on the northeast corner of Orange Avenue, Barrett Avenue in the commercial community zone. And our requested action is to adopt resolution 24-09, finding the project is categorically exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act, CEQA, review pursuant to section 15332 in development projects, and approving CUP 21-05102 based on the findings, subject to condition of approval. And we did add some things, so you help me out. One of them is adding elevator codes or elevating building code to it, which should be all of them. That should be standard language. But elevator building code is one of them. The administrative stuff would be the paint, and windows is something that would be worked out with staff. So I don't know if you necessarily would need to ask that. The trash enclosure, I think it's already it's in there, but I don't know if there was some specificity in terms of the color painting to make sure that that is one of those things that is there. A reciprocal agreement in writing as a condition of approval in detail. So we're not just saying, oh, we got to, no, in detail, who's going to do what. Spectrum, whatever the name of it is going to be responsible for those 25 spaces, maintenance, a whole bit, resurfacing, all that. They are responsible for that, which is separate from the whole entire other part, which is another discussion. But those spaces would be specifically added as reciprocal agreement. When you're talking about, let's be detailed. So that would be the other. I didn't think there was anything else specifically, but yes, ma'am.
So for clarification, because I know Sylvia's taking notes over there.
Yeah, good luck.
Planning condition number 34, which is the reciprocal access and parking, I would like to also add a maintenance agreement. And also in the body, in the text of the condition, also to include maintenance as part of the agreement. To include the number of parking spaces
Yes.
that are going to be shared
Yes.
with this proposed project, and also include language about the maintenance of landscaping and parking area by the shopping center.
Yes.
Also, I heard a concern with providing adequate lighting
Yes.
for the area, for the
Yeah.
parking spaces that will be shared. I recommend modifying condition number 28
Okay.
to read, the applicant shall submit a photometrics plan to the planning division for review and approval by the planning division for the site, for the subject site and the shared parking area.
Yeah.
And also, with respect to the code for the elevator, if we can add to the building and safety conditions to include also under general conditions, compliance with the 2022 California Elevator Code. Did I get it right?
Yeah.
Commissioner Shively? Thank you.
Thank you. for-
Clarification, for how many parking spaces are going to be reciprocal? Can we identify which parking spots? Or is it just 25 from that building, from that section?
We will require an exhibit to show the location of the parking spaces to match what has been approved as part of the project.
Thank you.
Okay, I will repeat that because I couldn't if I wanted to. Yeah, right, yeah. Anyway, we just waiting for a motion. You got that over here? Because I know I didn't. Okay. It's been moved by Commissioner Lopez, seconded by Commissioner Gomez.
Commissioner Gomez,
Yes.
Commissioner Lopez,
Yes.
Commissioner Jimenez,
Yes?
Vice Chair Chadley,
Yes.
Chair Hammond.
Yes.
With a vote of 5-0, this motion is approved.
Thank you very much. You wanna- Okay, we can take a quick break, 5 minutes, let's not extend it, guys, to 15. All right. Maximum 10. up here. Okay, we're about ready to get started again. In a second. Oh, we're gonna wait a second. When notes is not ready, we definitely have to. We had to get our forms together for the, to address the planning commission, so we wanted to get that order on item 6B. Okay, if we're ready, we're starting again. Planning commission meeting at 7:30 PM, July 17, 2024. Thank you for your patience. It's definitely cooler in here now. Item 6B, Development Plan Review 22-00013. A proposal to construct a 94,453 square foot industrial warehouse building on a 4.84 acre site located at 5030 Patterson Avenue on the west side of Patterson Avenue between Hardy Knox Boulevard and Nandina in the general industrial zone of the Paris Valley Commerce Center specific plan. Requested action is to adopt Resolution 24-07, adopting mitigated negative declaration number 2397 and the Mitigation Monitoring and Reporting Program, and approving Development Plan Review 22-00013 to facilitate the construction of a 94,453 square foot industrial warehouse building. Based on the findings and subject to the conditions of approval, is there any ex parte communication site visits, or ad hoc committee meetings that you'd like to come forth with?
I drive by the site and I had an ad meeting with this one.
Okay.
So I drive by the site often, and I've done 2 ad hoc meetings with this particular project.
Drive by the site frequently? I was there for that house as well.
None for me.
So just to clarify, Commissioner Jimenez was at the first ad hoc and not the second ad hoc.
And I drove actually to the site and looked at view the site physically. Okay. And Mr. Nathan Perez is going to be with the city. Good luck.
Correct.
No, not good luck.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the Planning Commission, Nathan Perez, Senior Planner. The next item we have before you is the Patterson Business Center project, and the applicant is Mr. Carter Reddish, who's in attendance here tonight. The project before you is located at 5030 Patterson Avenue within the Commerce Center specific plan area, located 1,600 feet north of Harley Knox Boulevard. The current site is vacant, consisting of 2 vacant parcels, and some of the surrounding land uses is truck and trailer facility located north and east of the site, and industrial south and west of the site also. If you note there, the site is also in close proximity to March Air Force Reserve. Here's a picture of my site visit, looking across from Patterson Avenue, and currently the site is, as mentioned earlier, vacant and pretty much surrounded by chain link fencing and overgrown vegetation. Now, the project site is located within the Paris Commerce Center specific plan, zoned general industrial, which allows warehousing, heavy manufacturing uses, and other industrial developments such as the one presented to you tonight. And it's surrounded by general industrial to the north, south, east, and west. The proposed project is consistent with the general industrial zoning standards, and it should be noted again that the project site is located within close in proximity of the March Air Force Reserve Base, located around 1,200 feet away. So the uses are pretty much limited because of the airport. Here's the site plan. The project proposes to develop a 94,453 square foot industrial building within 4.84 acres. And if you notice there, the project is proposing 22 loading docks on the southerly part of the building. There's a total of 58 parking stalls are proposed. 47 of them are along Patterson Avenue, and 11 spaces are located towards the rear of the building, as depicted in the yellow box, pretty much designated as maintenance vehicle parking stalls. There's 2 outdoor amenities areas. The red box on the top right-hand corner is actually the outdoor eating area, which is going to be covered. And the second amenity is an outdoor half basketball court, which is located on the northwest corner of the site. The project also includes 27,000, around a little bit under 27,000 square feet landscaping distributed throughout the site, which equates to 12.8% of the site. Now, some of the circulation as proposed, access to passenger vehicles is provided along the northerly driveway, which is shown in the red arrows, and truck access is provided in the southerly driveway, which is depicted as the blue arrows. Also, a gate will be installed to prevent passenger vehicles from exiting the southerly driveway utilized by trucks. So essentially, if you're a passenger vehicle, you won't be able to drive to the driveway that's meant for semi-trucks. Also, loading dock access gate is set back 144 feet from Patterson Avenue to allow queuing up to 3 semi-trucks. So the anticipated truck route for this project will be from Patterson Avenue all down to Harley Knox to the I-215 freeway. City staff has reviewed the project with the general industrial zone, and it complies with the lot coverage setbacks, minimum landscape coverage. It also complies with the parking standards. Here's the 3D rendering that the applicant has provided, and I'll go back and forth. If you notice, the rendering pretty much just shows the project as built, and this is a night rendering to show the commission how it's going to look at night with lighting. So here's the proposed industrial building elevations, which staff has collaborated with the applicant. The building design elements include varying roof lines or heights, decorative roof cap treatment, deep fluted rib pattern, form liners, metal canopies, and also thin brick veneer to pretty much accent the building that's being proposed for visual interest. Out of all the elevations that are in front of you, the Patterson Avenue elevation is the one that staff has worked with the applicant to upgrade to include a lot more veneer and also staggering of walls to break up the monotony of the flat concrete tilt-up. And then this is the north interior elevation, and this is the south interior elevation. As part of the project, a mitigated negative declaration was prepared for the project. Public agencies and property owners within 300 feet were notified of the project, and staff received comments from ALUC, Riverside Transit Authority, Riverside County Flood Control, EMWD, California Department of Transportation, SAFER, Agua Caliente Band of Indians. All their city staff has reviewed their comments, and their comments were informational in nature. And the applicant has indicated that they entered into an agreement with SAFER through an MOU, a Memorandum of Understanding. So none of these comments raised additional environmental concerns not already addressed in the mitigated negative declaration. So before I conclude, city staff has received 2 emails from 2 people who are inquiring and providing comments. One is from Jim Menes and Victoria Camarina, and the copies are provided in front of you. City staff has reviewed the comments for both emails in detail and determined that none of the comments received raised any additional environmental concerns that have not been addressed in the mitigated negative declaration prepared for this project. So those 2 emails have been provided to the Planning Commission. So in conclusion, staff recommends that the Planning Commission adopt Resolution 24-07, adopting MND 2397, and approving Development Plan Review 22-00013, based on the findings and subject to the conditions of approval. So this pretty much concludes my presentation. I'm here to answer any questions, and also the applicant's team, as you can see here in the front row, is here to answer any questions you might have for them.
Thank you very much, Nathan, and stick around. And if the applicant has a presentation and would like to come forward, please do at this time. And just state your full name and spell your last name for us, sir.
Good evening, council members.
Council, okay.
I upgraded you.
Oh, okay. Hope they're not seeing this, yeah.
Commission members and chairman.
Manifesting something.
Good evening. I'm Carter Reddish. I'm the architect, Carter Group Architects, and I just wanted to say thank you to the staff for all of your effort in helping us work through all of the questions that came up and getting it to a point where we're at tonight. And hopefully the building is going to be a real positive addition to the area there, which really has nothing much going on for it. Hopefully this will be an impetus to get things going in the area and maybe bring in some other developments to freshen up the area and bring it up to date. So I'm here to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you. And we turn it over to Planning Commission. Any questions, discussions on this item?
Yeah.
For me too, so don't.
Nathan, you mentioned that you guys notified the adjacent landowners 300 feet to the property. Was there any responses or concerns from them in regards to this project?
Actually, there was no responses from the property owners. There were just public agencies and one environmental group.
Okay, thank you. Also, would this project be coming with any community benefits?
So currently, there is a condition in there that they have to pay into, I think it's an off-site tree. And they also have to pay for community services actually has conditions in there also to pay into a fee. I forgot what it was, but there's those community benefits.
Awesome, that's going to be included. Perfect. Also, I was wondering if you could just go over what the truck route's going to be for this project.
So I actually made an exhibit for that question. So if you notice here, the truck route to and from the project site to the I-215 freeway will be from Harley Knox Boulevard all the way up to Patterson Avenue. And I would like to point out that there isn't any, single-family home sensitive receptors in that route.
Perfect. So coming into the project, it's going to be the same route as coming out.
That's
Perfect.
correct.
And I have a question. Maybe this one could be directed to the applicant. Was there an effort to include more landscaping to this project? My main concern is maybe specifically around the basketball court area, the amenity. Maybe that could have more shading with trees.
We could look into doing that, sure.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, it's 12.3. I feel like that area would benefit from just a little bit more landscaping, especially for the employees.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Sounds good.
Thank you for the presentation. And thank you for manifesting the future. Really like that part. I did want to ask in regards to the community benefit. Nathan, you did talk on it just a little bit, but for transparency purposes, can you just give us a little more detailed information on what that looks like for the residents?
Okay, so I'll start off with community services. Obviously, the applicant, prior to building permit issuance, will have to pay into a public art development impact fee. And the other community benefit would be that they would have to pay into the industrial park development impact fee. They also have to annex into the community facilities district for public services, for parks. And then let me go to the planning conditions here. Oh, number 20, which is a planning condition number 20, which is for the off-site tree planting fee that we have here.
What does that fee look like in total? Like, what's the total contribution? Is there a number? Normally, we hear, could you benefit of such and such number? And then that's put into that, we understand that goes into there. But what does this one look like, if we can just have an idea?
So the way it works is, prior to building permit issuance, the planner will have to pretty much calculate that fee based on the size of the building divided by 5,000 square feet. That will tell you how many trees will need to be planted. And then from there, we would get kind of like a cost of a typical tree that would be planted. Typically, roughly around $550 a tree, around there. So based on that, I'm not sure if I'm able to do the calculation, but.
So based on the square footage of the building and roughly $600 per tree and the irrigation that will need to be installed, which is the quote that we're getting from Public Works, it would come out to $11,334. If the applicant chooses to pay
That's for the
fee.
tree?
That is for the condition number 20, which requires the planting of one tree per every 5,000 square feet of warehouse. If he chooses to pay the fee, it would be approximately $11,334.
And the public art, who determines that amount?
That would be up to community services. So, the planner would, prior to building permit issuance, they would contact community services and they would have to calculate that fee. I actually don't don't know the fee per se. That would be more of a community services question, but
Okay.
I wouldn't be able to answer that question.
I just want to, the reason I'm asking, and I'm getting in trouble, but I just want to make sure that we don't lose sight of when we ask for the community benefit, we always ask for more trees, for more greenery, and a nicer, what it's aesthetically, what's it going to look like? But I don't want us to lose sight of the fact that just because this is being built in a light industrial area and it's zoned for that we're going to lose sight that there should be a community benefit attached to this, or we should request one and see that it's attached to it as well. We don't want it, because there's other issues, but I'm done. Thank you. Sorry, no, I'm not done. Is there a tenant in mind for this project? Or is this a spec building? Do we know?
I'll refer that question
Is there
over to the
somebody in
applicant.
mind? And if you don't have one, can you give us an example of what type of a tenant would be in this area? It's a smaller building, so what type of a tenant could we possibly see here?
Yeah, good evening, Commissioners.
Good evening.
Yeah, Dale Ullman, owner of the project.
Would you spell your last name for us?
Yep, sure, Ullman, Ulman. So, yeah, you're right, it is a spec project, and
Okay.
you're right, it is a little on the smaller side, but yeah, most of the tenants looking around right now for this size space are logistics companies of varying types, but, so.
So there's no proposed tenant?
Oh, no, there's no proposed tenant.
Okay.
It's a spec building.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Gomez, if you don't mind, Brad over here.
Where'd that voice come from? Yes.
To add to the community benefits portion,
Sorry.
it's from infrastructure benefits point of view, we are conditioning the applicant to contribute $100,000 towards an infrastructure fee that would go towards the I-215 Harley Knox interchange improvements down the line. And we are conditioning them to improve Patterson from Harley Knox up to their northerly property limit as well. So, and they're doing some off-site drainage improvements as well. So, it's not technically labeled community benefit, but they are infrastructure benefits that, for circulation purposes.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. Sorry.
So, conditional approval, item number 20, just questioning if we can request that the 24-inch gallantry go to 36-inch. Is that possible? For the community benefit?
We could ask the applicant if he's willing to do that first.
I'm sorry, would you repeat that?
Conditional use permit, or item number 20, off-site tree planting and funding. It requests that there's one 24-inch gallon tree per 5,000 square foot of building size. Just wondering if you're okay with increasing that to a 30-inch.
Okay, I guess that would be for the developer.
I'm sure that's possible.
Appreciate that. Thank you. Also, Nathan, on the plan that's currently, the site plan that's currently there, behind the half-court basketball, there is a portion that is not landscaped and looks like it wants to be a pass-through, to the adjacent parcel. Is that what the intention of it really is, or is it just turning around space for the
Yeah. So
fire?
here's a better exhibit here. It's just, to allow enough space for, a fire apparatus, to turn around the building. So it's basically just a hammerhead area. So that needed to be clear to allow, clearance for a fire truck to turn around and exit out to Patterson Avenue.
Yeah. My concern was that there is, no fire truck access around the entire perimeter of the building, like we normally see. But this is only 92,000 square feet instead of the normal size 300,000 plus that we commonly see. So I understand what the use of the hammerhead and, just so the fire truck can get in and out. As long as there is a crash gate in the perimeter or at the entrance to the truck area, that has to be there, and probably even a Knox box at that location, and the inclusion of providing a Knox box at the entrance of the buildings as well.
Yeah, we could certainly look at that. Typically, any type of gate that has a fire, like, we look at a fire access plan, and if the fire apparatus has to go through a gate, it typically needs a Knox box. So that condition would actually be satisfied.
That's a typical requirement. It has to have a lockbox and a Knox box on it for the fire vehicle access.
Vice Chair Shively, the fire conditions does include a condition of approval requiring the Knox box.
Okay, my question is kind of all-inclusive of the turnaround in it, and the Knox box, and the gate, so it's, all looks like it's there.
Yeah. My first one is a typo. In the conditions of approval number 23, Valverde Unified is mistyped. It's typed up as one word. It's two words. Valverde. I look at typos and grammatical.
Okay, duly noted.
Yeah.
All right.
Red
on
little
that
check
one.
mark. I just wanted to double check. What's the zoning here, Nathan?
So the zoning per the specific plan is actually general industrial. And general industrial, I mentioned earlier, allows, warehousing, heavy manufacturing. But I just wanted to point out that this area is very limited because it's right next to the airport. There's nothing else that could be built here that has a lower concentration of people. Typically, this area will, is pretty much constrained to like these type of uses, warehousing and industrial-based buildings, like the one that's being presented to you tonight.
Okay, so why do we need conditions of approval then, if it's compliant with what's being built there?
Well, currently, what we do is we look at other scenarios, like, for example, landscaping, fire. So there's many other conditions that have to be kind of, that the applicant has to be held accountable for. And those conditions are not just zoning conditions. There are other conditions that, pretty much include, what type of landscaping, what type of fees they have to pay. So that's the reason why we have other conditions.
Okay, thank you. And then, can you tell me, I kept looking, is it right in, right out for both of those accesses? Is it left in? Is it full turnaround? I don't think we reviewed exactly what that.
I'll refer that question over to our city engineer.
Yes, so for the truck access, it would be left in, right out. Going back to that truck route, all trucks would be coming from Hartley Knox, go north on Patterson, and then make a left into that driveway. As far as the north driveway goes, it's right in, right out. There probably isn't a big deal if it was full access, but the way it was studied, it was right in, right out for the passenger vehicles.
Okay, and that is an already existing truck route, or is that specifically for this project?
Well,
It's existing.
it's
It's an
existing.
existing?
Yeah. Technically, the only zoning that we have there is general industrial, and it's going to generate truck traffic, so it's going to have to go through Patterson. So it is a designated truck route.
Okay. Thank you. And can we go back to the site plan, please? I have a question for the developer. And the one that said how many loading docks. So there's 22, but one of them said there was like 13 on one side, 9 in the other, and in the middle there was only 2 little dock doors. can I ask why that was designed that way? I think there was another one that showed. That one, 13 docks and 9 docks. And then the middle one doesn't have,
Yeah, its total is 13 and 9. It was just the way we put the printing in there. Because
Yeah.
we have a dividing wall in the building, so we divided it up into 2 sections. So that was the reason that the doors are indicated that way. So total is, as you see, the number of doors.
okay. But nothing was put in the middle. There's
Now,
a,
the middle area is actually part of the 13.
okay. It was just, it looks second off for the spaces for the docks. Because I see the doctors and I'm like, it's not, there's not 13 right there.
Yeah, 13 includes the ones in that middle area.
Okay, perfect. Is there ever an intention of splitting this up down the middle and having to,
No, I don't think so.
okay,
It was for fire.
okay.
Ideally, it would be one tenant.
One tenant, yeah, because bottom one is just for maintenance and,
Right. Employees.
right, okay. And within the office, I noticed there's 2 outside amenities. Is there an indoor amenity as well that wasn't noted here?
No, we don't have anything indoor.
So I would like to clarify, our specific plan, requires that all buildings over 100,000
It's
square
under.
feet provide,
Yeah.
interior amenities. But however, the applicant didn't actually have to provide an outdoor eating area or half-court. They're just going above and beyond. And they don't meet that threshold of 100,000 for what the specific plan is requiring.
For the outdoor ones
And interior.
and indoor? Okay. So if employees brought in their food, where would they heat up their food? Where would they store their lunches?
There is a break area there.
There's a break area, okay. Okay. That's kind of an amenity, right? You have a break area. So there is an
Right.
indoor, okay.
Yep.
That's what I was trying to get at. There is one. Okay. I think that's it for me. Thank you.
Okay, I think they covered it. Yeah, I'll get to the discussion. I noticed this concrete paving, which is it's a new standard because one thing I noticed, I hate to say this, when I was in Hawaii, everything was concrete on the highways, and there was not junk like this. Every highway is concrete. Boom. Here you have asphalt. Psh, psh. So think about that, City of Paris, City of Menifee, City of you have concrete, it holds better, especially if you have a lot of trucks. So I like the concrete paving was mentioned, and that's not just the egress and egress, but that should be around that area. So that's going to be maybe the standard. So we have concrete paving that's mentioned in this. Other than that, I think that was the only thing. The driveway with the need for the fire trucks to go around, because normally you have a circular thing, but they have to have a turnaround area. So there's really not much you could do in terms of planning other than that little space. So that covered it. And I know it's a spec building, so I don't have any other issues, comments, but that's basically it for me. We made changes to the resolution. It was minor, because I'm nitpicking. But it was just a minor change to the resolution. I think they've already made that change, and it was just one word. That was it. So I'm done unless you guys have any other questions.
On the conditions, I didn't notice any conditions for outdoor landscaping lighting. Is that going to be included with this project?
I think it was.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, Commissioner Lopez, what was the question again?
Will the project include outdoor landscaping lighting? I will.
Let me double check, let's see.
What is this called? It's, the color renderings at night, I think you have. Well, that's a proposal.
I mean, like uplighting?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. 37B. This is Patterson Avenue. The applicant shall install uplighting on accent trees within the landscape setback.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Just want to make sure.
No more questions for staff or the applicant at this time, so we move it to public comment. And it's public comment on this item only. We have 2 requests, and of course, we're not limited to just 2 people requesting, but anyone the public can address. I'm going to start with Bruce Springer. Is this a singer? That is a Bruce Springer. Okay. Not the singer, I take it. Okay.
Definitely not.
It's okay.
Chair Hammond, Commissioners, thank you. We are the adjacent property owner north of the subject property. We're delighted with the project. We're delighted with the quality of the project. And one of those subjective community benefits that hasn't been touched on too much is the jobs. Jobs are huge, and that's a particular part of the community that can always use them. So with that being said, we're in total support of the project. All I need is a copy of the conditions of approval for the offsites. Because we get 6 to 7 inches of water up there under the current flood conditions, because the master drainage plan hasn't been funded and developed. No fault of anybody's other than Mother Nature when it rains. But if you can get those to me, I'd be happy to get an email address to you. And so you have that, and heck no, I'm retired. But I will get it to you before I leave. Is that all right? Okay. But we're delighted with the project. And these are the kind of things that keep the blood flowing, economic blood flowing in the community. So anything you can do to complement and encourage people like Mr. Ullman and his investors to do what they do is wonderful. So thanks.
Thank you very much, sir.
That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. And we have Jillian Menez.
Hello again, it's been a while. My name's Jillian Menez, and I'm here as a representative of Paris Neighbors in Action. I sent you guys all emails today explaining our position on this, but I want to reiterate and maybe expand a little bit on that. This project is located in a general industrial zone. I know that you're not able to just outright deny it, even though the community doesn't want it or need it. However, it will still be an addition to our town, and thus there should be more mitigation measures taken and care taken that this project actually has real benefit to our town. So I have a non-exhaustive list of things that we'd like to see for this project moving forward, and they primarily concern the health and welfare and of the future workers of this warehouse. So 1, the future workers of the warehouse deserve safe and proper working conditions. I use data from the University of Maryland's Center for Environmental Science, and it is estimated that Paris and the entire Inland Empire will only continue to get hotter, and in 60 years' time, our daily average temperatures will be 7 to 9 degrees hotter. Just a couple days ago, we had 108-degree days, like multiple of them. Now imagine working in an indoor, unrefrigerated warehouse, and it's 118 degrees outside. It's just inhuman, and that needs to be brought up. I do agree, it's in a weird area, and it could be a good opportunity to add some new jobs. Unfortunately, most of these warehouses that are bringing in jobs do not pay enough for our own residents to survive in our own town. So another condition of approval that I would like to see is a promised living wage to the workers of this warehouse. The future tenant of this project needs to be able to pledge a living wage for all workers. And I've sent you guys a tool, a cost of living wage tool that you can use to come up with some figures. It would also be great to see a condition put into place that will require a minimum percentage of the warehouse employees to be hired from Paris. That would be good, so we're not, we're bringing in jobs, but then we're not actually seeing them go to Paris residents. There are no real community benefits being proposed in this project. You cannot pay your necessary dues and fees and call that a benefit. We do deserve better, and that needs to be revisited, and I say we demand more because we deserve it. There should also not be any construction done until a tenant is determined. We have too many vacant or near vacant warehouses in Paris and Mead Valley, and they serve to do nothing but steal up all of our main vacant land and box us in. We need to make sure that we're going to have somebody a tenant in this warehouse, and a good one. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And is anyone else in the public? No, that was it. Yeah, at least the one I had here. So, anyone else from the public? Yeah, come forward. Please state your name for us and spell your last name. Yeah.
Yesenia Contreras, Contreras. All right, so I just have a few points. Oh, yes.
Yeah, it just helps to record it. Yeah, thank you. Makes it easier. Thank you.
All right, here are the points I'd like to bring up. It should be required that there is an established tenant prior to any warehouse construction so that we can ensure that warehouse employees will receive actual livable wages, which, according to the MIT Living Wage Calculator, is above 26.
Hold a second. Restart the time clock. Yeah, we got 2 seconds there.
Need more than that.
Yeah. Hold on. Okay. We'll give full time.
So they need livable wages, which, according to the MIT Living Wage Calculator, is above $26 per hour for single individuals in Riverside County with no children. Therefore, this should be the minimum starting wage for all workers. I'd also like to see that the landscaping includes carbon-absorbing trees and plants and trees that are native to the region. Furthermore, I would love to see a push for even more landscaping beyond the 12.8%. Additionally, we regularly experience temperatures above 90 and even 100 degrees. Therefore, there should be proper air conditioning and ventilation for all warehouse employees. To expand on this a bit, heat can affect the way the body interacts with certain antidepressants, diabetes medications, anxiety medications, and more, which can lead to heat exhaustion or heat stroke, which can then lead to a permanent disability or even death. This makes proper air conditioning and ventilation a serious issue to be considered, especially in terms of disability inclusion. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay. Anyone else from the public? Okay. Speak now, forever hold your peace. Thank you very much. We close the public comment. And now the developer. If you would like to respond, this is your opportunity to respond to the comments. We do this at all of our meetings. If not, just let us know.
You know, I have nothing further to add. I just wanted to thank staff for working with us thoroughly on this project. It's been a long time coming, almost 3 years. So I wish we did have a tenant. I wish we could dictate what they're going to do, but nobody's going to hang on for that kind of a ride 3 years and another year and a half or so until something was built. But do appreciate it. Thank you for all the time and the effort, and to Nathan. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay. Seeing no further questions, no further comments, okay. And with that, we bring it to close the public hearing, bring it to the commission for discussion, analysis, and then we're going to have discussion.
I understand that the applicant has their hands tied in what could be built out in this area. It's zoned general industrial, so that's exactly what they're providing for us. So I don't have an issue with that. They're meeting all the criteria that the city provides and requires. The only issue I do have is the only condition I do want to add is the increased landscaping around the basketball court area or the amenity. Besides that, I have no issues with this project.
Thank you. Thank you for the presentation and for answering our questions today. Yes, this is definitely being built in a general industrial area, and I don't see any issues, but I would like to, there are certain things that we can do, that we can request while we're up here, some things that we can't. And I just want to ask staff, how many empty warehouses do we have at this time? I think the last number was 9. Is it the same?
I don't have a current number.
Okay.
I wasn't prepared to
Okay,
answer
no,
questions.
and I didn't ask beforehand, I usually do. But the last number that we had of empty warehouses was 9. It definitely makes an impact. We would love the jobs, right, that they would bring. However, if they're sitting there and they're not filled, then they're really not serving their purpose. And so having that in consideration, I would like to make sure that the council consider requesting that there be a tenant before they consider the approval. That will be left up to them to ensure that what types of jobs, quality jobs, working conditions will be offered. Again, that's not something that I can request at this time, but I would like council to consider that. And that's just because there was already empty buildings. But other than that, I do appreciate the questions that were answered.
No, okay, you want to go? Okay.
I think where we're at, we're fast, we're not, we're quick. We're in our discussion mode, so, not really questioning mode, so. The elevation in architecture of the building, I think is very well designed, using the color palettes and the use of light in windows or spandrel glass in the facility. I think it's very well designed in that nature. I do very much request that we increase the community tree size to 36 inches instead of 24 inches. So if we can link that to item number 20, revise that for item number 20, I would like that very much. Again, it's one of those ones that unfortunately it's in the general industrial zone that we can't make them do much anything else, especially with the location of it next to the March Air Force Base and the proximity of the runway. So it's very limited what we can have them do there. We can't even really have them do a park or anything else because that actually incurs more people per acre than what March Air Force Base allows. So that on that aspect, it's kind of, unfortunately, it is going to be a warehouse. So that's it.
I echo what my fellow commissioners say. It's a very weird spot. There's not much you can do there. I do appreciate the effort with making it look as visually appealing as possible. I would also like to increase a little bit. I know 10's the minimum, and we know that our commission is not the bare minimum kind of commission. So 12.3 is good, but if you increase like that and anything else you can add with elevations, with landscaping, that way it gives it more of an appeal. And not just highlighting the trees, but anything that can be accentuated. So a little bit more of the uplighting for the landscaping. And, you know, I hear our community, I don't know if you all know, but I've worked in a warehouse. I worked in a warehouse in Chino and Covina, which is a lot cooler than it is here. And let me tell you, those conditions are horrendous. Like, you can work the night shift, you can work the day shift, you can work the mid shift, any shift that you work, you're gonna feel like you're dying every day. Like, there's not enough water or anything you can do to keep cool, but we're very limited because of state laws. That's where I think we need to put our effort, is sending those letters and really sending them that data. How many of those employees are getting heat exhaustion, heat stroke, having those conditions? You know, my dad, he was older, worked at a warehouse here in the city, and he had heat exhaustion almost every day coming home, which is really bad for somebody who's not so young. So then that led to him missing work. Well, leads to another issue with a lot of these warehouses is they're not doing the hiring and employee maintenance from within. They're outsourcing. So there's no benefits. There's so many other things. So you get dinged every time you're absent. So you're working in a hot warehouse. You get heat exhaustion, you're absent the next day, you get dinged. You come back the next day, and within a week, you don't have employment anymore with that cycle. So I know that we're limited by state laws. We're limited by a lot of legislation that guides where we are. But I invite anybody who thinks working in a warehouse is not that bad to do it in the middle of summer. At least a day, 2 days, and know how bad it really is, and really the drain that it takes on your body. And I think that would really also help us move along the legislation to make sure that there's at least some air circulation, there's some kind of temperature control. It doesn't have to be 70 degrees, but there has to be something that is within a normal range that will not lead heat exhaustion. And I don't know if this is possible, but we had a request to our staff, if whenever we have, I don't know, even before our meetings, like if we can have an update of how many warehouses, just like an update of like a picture of our city, how many warehouses are empty, how many are being developed, and as well as commercial, because we hear that a lot. Well, we're only building industrial because all the commercial's empty. Well, we don't have the data to back up that we're not empty in commercial unless we have the actual data. That we were better prepared too. This one was easy, it's zoned for this, but just thinking ahead of what's coming up when it comes to rezoning, when it comes to things like that.
Okay, I think it's been pretty much said. I appreciate the patience out there. I know it's a general industrial, so this goes back a long way. What probably, and I don't want to get off the subject of this particular item, but the idea of some of the things that brought up, what are the standards in terms of any kind of air that go to warehouse? So if the conditions don't specify that, do they need any kind of air? Is it just some, they just do whatever they want to do? So that may be a discussion point for something. A lot of this stuff is council level because it is not this level. You're talking council, county supervisor, I'm running for elections too, council, supervisor level, state level. They are the ones that have to make the changes. We can't, not much to do on any project. We can only suggest, but that's the level. The state of California says, boom, that's it. But you've got to go by CEQA, you got to go by all the engineering, California Building Code. That's California, guys, and you're in California. Okay? So you really got to, that's another level. But for this project, I understand, but I think what would help is the percentage. What is a normal percentage we can see? And that would be something. So it's in San Bernardino, in Ontario, such and such, it's 7% normal, 9% normal, 10%. That's a way of being very specific about it, because I'm very analytical. So if you want stats, you got to get what other cities do. First thing I did as a city employee, I go to other cities when I was a city employee. I don't care if it's Chicago, New York, I went to other cities and said, what do they do? Then I went to the city council. LA city council is much tougher than this one, guys, I'll tell you. But then you had to have it ready because that's the way you propose it. What is normal? So there's a normal, just like vacancy rate in terms of homes. So anyway, for this project, I'm good. There's a parkway there too, which is good because that's a buffer. And anything in this area improves it as much as we don't want a whole lot of stuff, but this area is a no-brainer. You have no choice. It's general industrial, next to the runway, there's not much else you're going to do, but make it the best we can in terms of aesthetics, in terms of plants. 12.8% means not much. I like the idea of 36%, 30 box trees, but the idea that you really got to make a buffer here, and 12.8%, that's a discussion. Maybe something that could be looked at. What is it reasonable? 20, 19, we can discuss that. But that's, really minimal. And especially if you have a half court, is that open with no top on it? You're not going to play that in August. Unless you're out of your mind in Paris, you must be crazy. Unless you plan to play at 12 o'clock at night or now. So coverings and things like that is something that's a standard. But in this one, they did not have to add amenities, so you have to remember that. They're not required to do any of this. So this is more or less a gift on that part, so I'm not going to push it too much. So anyway, I'm done. Unless there's anything else, I think there's only one question. There was no fencing to the east where the cars are parked, so it's kind of open to Patterson, right? So all the fencing is the north, the west, the south, but I didn't remember seeing anything on the east. So,
Yeah, Commissioner Hammond, there is fencing. I created a wall and fence plan, if you notice.
on the east.
Yeah, to the east, yeah.
Okay, where?
So if you look at let me see if I could show you here. It's actually this area here, which is the concrete tilt-up.
Yeah.
And then here.
Okay, but not along Patterson to block cars or views like that.
That's correct, yeah.
Okay, just clarifying. Okay, I'm done. Anything else? All right. Thank you very much. And with that, I lost my place. What's the matter with me? Give me a break. It's been, 6 weeks, okay? A proposal to construct a 94,453 square foot industrial warehouse building on a 4.84 acre site located at 5030 Patterson Avenue, on the west side of Patterson Avenue between Harley Knox Boulevard and Nandina Avenue, in the general industrial zone of the Paris Valley Commerce Center Pacific Plan. Requested action is adopt resolution 24-07, adopting mitigated negative declaration number 2397 and the mitigation monitoring and reporting program, and approving development plan review 22-00013 to facilitate the construction of a 94,453 square foot industrial warehouse building based on the findings and subject to conditions of approval. We had some increases there, 24-inch, 36-inch on item COA 20, so increase it to 36-inch box trees. Number 23, Valverde, yeah, a school person would see the misspelled, so I'll take it her word for it. And landscaping around the half court, if that could be increased, I think that was one of the things that was consideration around the half basketball court. Overall, do you want that to be administrative, or are we going to set a number? 12.8%. Okay? Yeah. Overall, it's 12.8.
For this one or for others?
25? No, 0.5. Okay. Yeah, no, to 13, 13.5. 13.5? Okay. Oh, no. Okay. Yeah, yeah. 13.5, is that something that would be acceptable? Okay, 13.5%. Would have to reopen, do we need to reopen?
I'm trying to follow what you're suggesting, to increase the percentage.
Overall.
Overall,
Yeah.
from what? We have 12.
12.8 to 13, 12.3 to 13.5.
We can, well, we're going to be adding around the basketball court, so maybe we can do that, but it's very tight right now. I mean, we had a hard time arriving at what that percentage is now, and it's over what's required to start with.
No, we always ask for more.
Yes.
13% reasonable?
We could try that, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you for, okay. So I think I covered everything. Okay. If I missed it, that's okay. Okay, and I already read it, so we just need a motion for requested action to approve the adopted resolution 20, well, I don't need to read the whole thing again, but yeah, well, please. Okay. Yeah, you want me to read that? Okay. Okay. You would like to make a motion? Moved by Commissioner Gomez. Second by Commissioner Jimenez.
Commissioner Gomez,
Yes.
Commissioner Lopez,
Yes.
Commissioner Jimenez,
Yes.
Vice Chair Shively,
Yes.
Chair Hammond.
Yes.
With a vote of 5-0, this motion is approved.
And we thank everyone for participating, and we thank you for your patience.
Thank everyone very much.
Thank you. And we will move on to item 6C. Tentative parcel map 22-05050, TPM 38368, and development plan review, DPR 22-00029. A proposal to subdivide an existing 3.8 acre parcel into 2 lots for the construction of a 5,490 square foot convenience store with a 2,579 square foot attached automated car wash, a 4,467 square foot canopy for passenger vehicles fueling, and a 630 square foot canopy for trucks fueling, located on the vehicle northwest corner of Placentia Avenue and North Paris Boulevard in the commercial zone of the Paris Valley Commerce Center Specific Plan. The requested action: adopt resolution number 24-08, finding the project is categorically exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act CEQA review pursuant to Section 15332 infill development projects, and approving tentative parcel map 22-05050 TPM 38368 and development plan review 22-00029 based on the findings and subject to the conditions of approval. Yeah, let me clarify. We read this stuff to get it on the record. I'm not just doing this for fun. Okay? All right. Now, with that, is there any ex parte communications, site visits, or ad hoc committee meetings you want to announce?
I joined the ad hoc meeting for this one.
Okay.
I was at hoc, I believe, for this one as well.
Or none for me.
Drive by this site frequently.
Well, definitely drive by this site frequently, and went by the site just the other day too. Okay. And long time.
It has been a while, hasn't it? Thank you, Chairman, for that introduction. Good evening, members of the Planning Commission. My name's Alfredo Garcia. I am your Associate Planner. As mentioned this evening, we have before you Development Plan Review 22-00029 with tentative parcel map 38368 for the Placencia gas station. The project site is located in the southern portion of the Paris Valley Commerce Center specific plan. Some of the surrounding land uses, we have the existing Store America self-storage facility to the north. To the east, we have a single-family residential subdivision. To the west, we have the existing core slab structure industrial facility. And to the south, we have a vacant parcel, undisturbed parcel. With respect to the land use, the current site is zoned for commercial and also is surrounded by commercial uses to the north, light industrial to the west, and light industrial to the south, and single-family residential to the east. This is a northwest image taken along North Paris and Placencia Avenue. This is an image along Placencia Avenue, looking north at the subject site. And this is an image looking southwest along Paris Boulevard. A little bit of background on the project. There was 2 ad hoc meetings that were performed. One meeting was on December 20th, 2023. I believe the staff report says 2024. That was a typo. Apologize. So last year in December, we did have an ad hoc meeting. Some of the items that were raised on there were additional landscaping, separation of the fueling stations, and additional enhancements being done to the building. The applicant worked with staff and listened to the ad hoc notes and revised their plans. Came back, and on July 11th of this year, had another ad hoc meeting. On that meeting, additional enhancements were required. One was to revise the renderings to show the proposed landscaping, provide landscaping adjacent to the sidewalk along Paris Boulevard, Placencia Avenue, revise the 2D color elevations, also the elimination of some trees towards the rear of the car wash facility. And I'll expand more upon this as the presentation goes on. And provide some fencing along the northern and eastern boundary of the project site. The applicant has actually already started in good faith working on those revisions, knowing full well that we just had that meeting last week, as a note. And here we have before you the revised site plan. The entire site is comprised of 3.8 acres in size. The applicant at this moment will only be developing 2.14 acres of the total site. The remaining parcel will be vacant at this time until they feel that they have a new project come forth before you for review and approval at that time. As of right now, the site will be serviced through 3 driveways. 2 of them will be along Paris Boulevard that will provide a right in and left in for traffic going Paris northbound. and right out. These are all for only passenger vehicles. The southern driveway along Paris Boulevard will only be for right in and right out, again, for only passenger vehicles. And along Placencia will be a left in and right out for only trucks. As part of the amendments done to the site, the applicant revised the elevations and the circulation of the site. In the end, we are proposing, or the applicant is proposing, a 5,490 square foot convenience store, a 2,500 square foot self-automated car wash building, a 4,500 square foot fueling station with 16 dispensers, and a 630 square foot fueling station that would accommodate 3 pumps for trucks. Throughout the entire site, there are 29 vehicle stalls with a surplus of 6. Out of those 29, 8 of them will be EV charging stations and 3 handicap spaces to meet 2022 CBC code, as well as constructing a trash enclosure and providing 21% of on-site landscaping, which is about 19,500 square foot of landscape. Drought tolerant too. On the subject matter of landscaping, here is the landscape plan that was proposed by the applicant. The landscape palette is all from drought tolerant plants from the region. They won't utilize as much water as other plants would need from other regions. Furthermore, there's an illustration at the top for a split face vinyl rail that the applicant will be placing in front of the 3-foot hedge shrubbery to separate the vacant parcel, so we don't have pedestrians or vehicles driving to that vacant site while it remains vacant for the time being. With respect to the development standards, they are all met, as well as the parking standards with a surplus of 6 spaces. Here before you is a revised rendering that the applicant and his development team worked on. As you could see, the architecture is modern. Before I move forward, Ms. Arvizu, I think the applicant provided a material board, if you don't mind. Thank you so much. Thank you. The architecture is modern with a curved roof line. There's usage of large windows as well as additional accent windows towards the top of the building to break up the wall surface area. Lots of horizontal articulation with pop-outs of the walls and the metal awning, as well as the use of the tile veneer at the base and carried out through the fueling station and the car wash to not only add further interest to the building, but to the site overall. And here's a nighttime rendering with the accent lighting on the walls for security purposes as well. Here we have before you the 2D elevations. The image to the bottom of the screen is the east elevation, which is the view along Paris Boulevard. And these are the 2D elevations of the north and the south. South elevation, which is the bottom image, is the image that will be seen from Placencia Boulevard. That said, staff's recommendation this evening is for the Planning Commission to adopt PC Resolution 2408, categorically exempting DPR 220029 with respect to CEQA under Section 15332 as an infill development project, and approving DPR 220029 and tentative parcel map 38368 based on the findings and subject to the conditions of approval. And before I conclude, staff did receive 8 more letters in support of the project. Ms. Arvizu, did we provide those letters? Thank you so much. So you have them before you for a total of 53 if we add the ones from Exhibit F from the staff report package. Staff also received for the record this evening one letter of opposition from Ms. Jill Menez, has also been provided before you as well this evening. And with that, that concludes my presentation. I'm available for any questions that the commission may have. We also have the applicant representative here this evening, Mr. John Hyman, as well as the owner of the project, Mr. Chandres, that can further add more information if the commission need be. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Don't go away. And if the applicant has a presentation, please come forward, state your full name and spell your last name for us, sir.
Good evening. My name is John Hyman, spelled Heimann. I'm with Hyman Development Group. I have partnered with Chandris Ravalia to bring you this project. It's been about 3 years to get to this point, so we're really happy and to be here and to present this to you. I wanted to take a few moments to emphasize a few things, and so I appreciate your time. Our goal was and still is to provide a neighborhood family-owned gas station for the residents of Paris, but specifically for the neighborhood around us. Anthem Oil is a family-owned company ran by Chand. He does not plan to franchise this gas station into one of the larger name brand companies, as you probably know. Instead, he plans to keep this location an independent station, which in effect helps keep the gas prices lower, so somewhere around Costco is kind of a comparable, if I had to put my finger on it. But we also intend to stock the convenience store with healthy foods, fresh fruit, protein shakes, snacks, juices, nuts, and ready-packed sandwiches, energy bars, things to help everyday commuter get through their day. We estimate that we'll be able to provide the community with new jobs, both full and part-time, somewhere in the neighborhood of 10 to 12 jobs we're estimating. And Chan plans to personally train them. One of the benefits of having a family-owned business is that you're responsible. You don't look to a corporation, you do it yourself because it's your business and it's your name out there. So he takes very good care of his properties. We've also completed, I think, more than our fair share of community outreach as well, which consisted of mostly knocking on doors in 100-degree heat on the weekends. But the same, we pulled up 55, we forgot the last two, letters of support. And yeah, we're really excited about that. Really received some nice feedback from, a lot of positive feedback from the neighborhoods. I also want to mention, as I mentioned, this is a neighborhood gas station and not some sort of a truck stop. I want to make sure that we're clear on that and what we're presenting. We don't have showers. We won't have any overnight truck parking or anything of the sort. We do have a few truck biodiesel fueling pumps on the south side of our project to help out with the warehouses to the west of us towards the freeway, but to ensure that the car and truck traffic doesn't become a problem. Our site is somewhat divided into two, as Mr. Garcia mentioned. We have truck traffic on the bottom or south side of the project, and the cars would be on the north side. So cars entering and exiting off of Paris, whereas trucks are entering and exiting off of Placentia. With the help of the city's engineering department, we're planning to do quite a few things to help make this happen. Obviously, signage is important, got to have that. But we're also proposing a pork chop along in the front, the entrance of the driveway for the trucks along Placentia Avenue that will prevent a truck from turning left in any way, shape, or form to go. In addition to that, we're proposing a median down Placentia Avenue as well, so there's no chance a truck could turn east and head east on Placentia Boulevard. Security is important to this company. We've got a pretty good enhanced security plan we've been working on. Right now, you'll find that our proposed lighting plans, both high and low lighting, is going to very much exceed city standards. We'll have over 40 security cameras on site as well to monitor everything. As Mr. Garcia mentioned, the ad hoc meetings, those were really helpful. We really appreciate those. We got so many good ideas and so much good feedback from you guys. And I want you to know, every time we've had that meeting, we've done twice, obviously, we made some fairly significant changes each time. And I think the final product is reflective of that. In conclusion, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, thank you again for the opportunity. We think that this site will benefit our neighborhood and hopefully play a key part in our neighbors' daily commute, but also be there so when you need a half a gallon of milk at 11 o'clock at night, that it'll be open and around for that. So we also hope this, we also think that tax revenues acquired from this site will help the city of Paris invest in what's important to you as a city. And thank you, and we'll be here to answer any questions you have.
Thank you very much, sir. Don't go far.
Just to clarify, I need to change my ex parte communication that I did attend the ad hoc meetings. So.
We need to change our ad hoc, we need to change our ex partes because we attended the first ad hoc, Shively and I.
Okay. So honest here, I think. Okay, now, are there any questions, not discussion, but any questions for staff and or the applicant? And I'd be hard pressed to believe we don't have any. But starting either way.
Thank you, Alfredo, for the presentation. Can you go back to the slide that shows the revisions made from ad hoc?
Which ones are those, Mr.
It was one of the
Lopez?
first slides that you went through all the revisions that were made.
This one?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
So right here on the last point, it says provide fencing along the north and eastern boundary. That's going to be the vinyl rail that you showed us.
That is absolutely correct. Yes.
During the ad hoc meeting, I brought up having that same rail on the southwest side of the property. I don't know if that's something the applicant is still willing to do for us. The southwest, where those trees are lined up.
So, are you referring to where the crepe myrtle are being?
No, right here. It's right above where the truck entrance is, where you see those line of trees. Yeah. Okay, perfect. Another thing, the landscape parkway. I don't think it's included in these renderings. Is that still something that the applicant's willing to do?
Yes, they did revise, as you could see, the southern Placentia one, but the Paris one hasn't been totally revised. I mean, the meeting was just last Thursday,
yeah,
so,
no, I know.
but even then, they've already, made great advancements on making a lot of the changes that we discussed. from
So
the ad
that's
hoc.
going to be included?
Yes, sir.
Okay, perfect. And do you know if there's going to be any signage on the building?
I believe there is, but as stated, when Ms. Lupita was talking, that's actually a separate entitlement that the applicant
Gotcha.
processes with staff, where we look at monument, we look at price signs, wall-mounted signs, the canopy signs that go on the fueling stations, that kind of thing.
Okay, sounds
Yeah.
good. All right, thank you. No further questions.
But we will look at that.
Appreciate that.
Commissioner Lopez, if I can add, the engineering conditions includes a condition of approval requiring curb adjacent parkway, meaning the parkway adjacent to the street along Paris Boulevard
Perfect.
as well.
Thank you. That's what I needed. Oh, also, I remember the applicant mentioned there's a median on Placentia, a center median. Can you just go over how that's going, how far that's going to go?
Our expert engineer will.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the median along Placentia would go directly in front of that driveway along Placentia. There.
Will they go all the way to the?
All the way to Paris Boulevard, so a little sliver.
Got you. Is there gonna be landscaping on that, do you know?
It would be so.
It's so small.
So
Okay,
tiny,
got you.
2
It's
feet
all
wide, that it's probably
concrete?
just gonna be concrete,
Got you.
maybe cobble, but it's gonna be too
Okay, sounds good.
small for any type of landscape.
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you, Brad.
I was at the ad hoc meeting. I don't know, for some reason, this looks really familiar to me, so. Okay, so we were at that first one. The second? No.
The second one, myself and
That was, oh, that's right. Oh, sorry, I was at the first one, December.
Mr. Lopez
Okay.
and Mr. Shively.
Okay. I do see a lot of changes with it. I don't have any questions because it looks like the suggestions that were made in ad hoc, and it looks like now the additional questions with our other planning commissioners are being met. So at this point, I have no questions.
Thank you.
So one of the ad hoc recommendations was separating the vehicle from trucks.
Yes.
This still isn't divided because passenger vehicles can access to the south and use that exit. Is the applicant open to, I know that one of the industrials we did where they had the little cones that kind of stick on the ground and you can remove them for emergency access in vehicles or have some kind of physical barrier, because I can see a lot of cars want to go on Placentia, it's easier to exit.
And that is true. We did condition the project to provide signage.
I don't do signs, Mr. Garcia. Signs are beautiful.
We're trying.
It's beautiful artwork that people look at it.
We provided the planter island as well to provide a physical barrier, if you will. However, we do have to coordinate with fire because fire needs that threshold
Yeah.
to exit an apparatus.
But we can have like a small gate. It doesn't have to be tall. Nobody's gonna damage their car, even if it's like a low gate that can be retractable in case of an emergency. Just something, I'm not asking for like an 8-foot wall or 14-foot wall like we usually have, just a physical barrier that can be quickly removed for access. Even, yes, handle like bars that don't open unless there's an emergency vehicle there. Just something to make sure cars don't cross, because it's putting those passengers at risk when you're fighting against.
The applicant is willing to.
Like armrests or even like those little like cowbell, whatever, I forget what they're called. A lot of the schools have those where it's like the two poles and it's just like a small one that meets in the middle and it just opens really quickly.
If it's okay with you, we'd be more than happy to work with fire to figure something like that out, yet meet what you're looking for.
Yeah, something that is
Some kind
easily,
of a
yeah.
barrier.
I'm not asking for something permanent, just something that is easily removable, but is physically there.
Present.
Yes.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Signs are beautiful. I like looking at signs with all the colors,
Sorry?
but people don't respect them.
Sorry?
I said signs are beautiful, but people look at them and they take in the colors, the shapes, but they're not always respected. Yeah. And then my second question is, do we have anything on site that is going to guide those trucks coming in on where to go for fueling as of now? Come on. Just stay up here. Pull your chair up.
So yes, we'll have signage in there, so it should be very obvious which, they plan on going a counterclockwise action around the site because that's really the only way that it's physically possible for them to do it. So it'll be coming around on a counterclockwise direction.
Yeah, you go in, go right, go around, fuel, and come down and make it right.
Correct.
Okay,
Correct.
okay. Would you be open to doing like physical, like lanes on the ground? My husband drives a big rig, so we see it all the time where it makes common sense for most truck drivers, but sometimes we get new ones or we see some that are like doing crazy stuff, trying to squeeze in places instead of following what will make common sense. So maybe,
I don't foresee that being a problem. We'd be more than happy to do that.
okay, that way they know, like you come
Figure out
in,
something, yeah.
you follow the little arrows, like something. And then I think third, because we still want those truck drivers that are fueling have access to a convenience store. I see that there's a little walkway. Is that lighted? Is that signaled in any way?
There's lighting in the
Okay.
entire area.
It will be very well lit,
Okay,
very well lit,
okay,
yes.
perfect. Those are my 3 questions. Thank you.
Safety factors, so that's.
Yeah, I'm always, yeah, thanks.
Yeah, good. Okay. Yeah, I pretty much covered a lot of the stuff. I think getting to some questions. Is it 13% landscaping or 21%? So the staff report says one thing, and then we see 13%. So we flipping the coin for the average, or what really is it?
It's 21.
It's 21, so.
Does that include the northern, or is that just within the 2.14 acres?
That's in the 2.
2.14 acres?
Okay, some observations. And I'm getting, this really comes down to engineer who I always picking on anyway. Placentia Avenue. Okay, trucks are coming from the freeway in Placentia. They're to turn into this parking, this structure. If you turn into that structure, you've got long trucks, so that means that you're going to have a left lane turn in. It's not going to be 10 feet. These trucks are not 10 feet long, so you're going to have enough, all the way almost to Barrett, a left turn lane to go in there, because you can't drive in the middle. It's not legal. So they're going to have a left turn lane in there, and hope it's spelled out in the condition approval for engineering. They don't care about the rest of it. It's an engineering thing. So in order to turn left there and you have queuing on the street, you can't just have it for one truck, because you know it's going to be more than one truck. Now, in order to turn there, turn into that lot, I think you guys might have covered it. I don't know how specific it is in engineering, but maybe you can explain in more detail how that's going to work, turning left in there. And you have a median, but there's going to be a break in the median, obviously, to turn left in there. And without having the signal at Barrett, which is another thing that will have to be discussed, but that depends on the traffic study. But just in that, you want to explain how that's going to work?
Yeah, absolutely. Great question. So we worked with the applicant to secure that 2 trucks would be able to fit into that lane, that left turn pocket into the driveway. We wanted to make sure, in case one truck was waiting for, westbound traffic to go by, that that lane would accommodate 2 trucks. So it is 150 feet for storage. And with that, there's a small median to the west that would most likely need to be, revised a little bit. So there would be enough room for queuing for these left turn movements for the trucks into the driveway. And to kind of touch base on that median that's in front of the driveway that we're conditioning to install with this project, it serves twofold. Again, it restricts that left out movement for the eastbound trucks. Another thing, we are doing the reverse curve on the driveway itself, and on top of that, the median. Per planning commissioners, you guys like seeing that, so we added that with the conditions. It serves, the second purpose is to separate those left-turning trucks into the driveway and the left-turning vehicles that are at Perry Boulevard. Yeah. So it serves twofold. So we worked with the applicant to get this point, and the plan is to show it.
Okay. I think.
I just wanted to mention.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry.
I didn't see
mean
you.
to scare you. What I just want to mention real quick, that the truck traffic and the queuing to make, say, a left go north on Paris Boulevard, that is not intermingled. Those are 2 separate queues.
Oh yeah.
Okay, just want to make sure.
Yeah,
That's all.
it's just Placentia coming from the freeway and turning into, if you see the southern portion right there. In fact, it's already right there in the picture.
Right.
Turning in there, it's going to be queuing.
Correct,
So we want to make sure that, they have turning left on Paris for regular passenger vehicles. So we don't want that issue, to 2 separate things, is that becomes a nightmare if you have them. And I think the separation.
That median helps separate the passenger vehicles from the trucks.
Now, I wasn't aware, if you go back to the site plan, the other picture of the site plan, which includes the northern property, which I didn't remember seeing. You're coming in there, and that other parcel is just not part of this project, but they're turning right in. So everything is left in to the property. The other is left in. There's not going to be an opening from coming north on Paris Boulevard to get into that facility, right? So we're not going to have the left turn lanes or left turning into the facility for anyone. It's the center median right now on Paris Boulevard. So everything is right in.
Correct. There is an existing 14-foot wide median. With that northern
Yeah.
driveway that's shown on the site
Yeah.
plan here, that median would have to be cut out and accommodate that left turn pocket for passenger vehicle standard.
Okay, so do we have, maybe I missed it, is that in the engineering?
Yes, it's a condition.
Okay, which one? Just for me, because
It's
I'm petty.
It's going to be part of condition number 5, but there's several bullets on there. Let me.
Okay. Yeah, another driveway. I just want to make
So-
sure, mostly clarify, because if you can't get in there coming north, we got a problem. You're gonna lose a lot of money. Okay. So you want to make sure if you're going north.
So condition number 5 at the bottom of page number 2, it talks about driveway number 1 allowing the left in, right out movement. And there is, one moment. And then on the top of page number 3, lane configuration striping for driveway number 1, you see the northbound movement stating one left turn lane with a minimum storage length of 120 feet.
I think what I missed was this top diagram, because otherwise the other one's kind of, but now the top diagram means you can turn left in there at that parcel that's not part of this project, so you can turn left into that one. So that's the key to the whole thing. And you can also go back right and turn right and go down south on Paris Boulevard.
Correct.
Okay, because otherwise it gets to be an economic nightmare. Because everyone's going north, and if you're not going in that direction, you can't come in from the truck route. We're not supposed to come in. And coming south and going into the facility. Okay, we got that straight. I think that was pretty much it. And the comments later will be about. Okay. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So the question about these landscaping, it's 24 hours, so there obviously are issues about security and all that. So, okay. But I just want to clarify that because entering and exiting and egress and ingress are really the big issues with almost all these projects, especially on Paris, which gets to be really hectic. And so if you with somehow cut off access into it, we got a problem. So you're not gonna you go all the way up, make a U-turn down, or go all the way Walnut and past that and come back. That wouldn't make any sense for this. But obviously, we didn't see this part, so that clarifies that that northernmost entryways. Okay, so I'm done.
I just wanted to double check, are we gonna have, I'm assuming, because we like signage in the city apparently, for that pocket on Placentia, that some kind of signage that says trucks only, cars go to Paris, just that way, because if I were to see people pulling into a gas station, I would probably queue behind a truck, thinking that would also be my access point. So I'm assuming we're gonna have signage that says trucks only?
Yeah, absolutely. We could work with the
Okay, because I
signing
would
and
queue,
striping
let me tell
plans.
you. I'm like, oh, that looks like a fun place.
Okay, any other questions this time? I'll probably come up later. Okay, thank you very much. You're off the hook for now. At this time, we open it up. Oh, you have any more? Okay. 6C, okay. I knew it was getting off too easy. Okay. We open up for public comment at this time. Okay. Yeah. Public comment at this time. Anyone wishing to address the commission, I will call your name. At this time, doesn't mean we still can't come up. I'm just going to call them based upon 3 minutes to 3 minutes to come to the podium. For 3 minutes, you can discuss this item and this item only. And you only need to mention your name. We don't need your address. I don't care what it says. We don't need your address. We're not going to follow you up. It's not the IRS, okay? So if you want to, we're not going to ask for any of that information. Just if you want to give your name, that's up to you. And we just want to know so the record. That's the only reason we're asking your name. Kind of nice to know your name. Okay. Okay. If I mess them up, forgive me. I'll try my best. Jairo Carbajal? I should know it by now. I've seen it.
Hello, Commissioners. It's been a while. Don't miss it here at all, but hello. I'm here with Paris Neighbors in Action and just as a resident of Paris in opposition of this project. And one thing I've definitely heard, and everybody should know by now, besides warehouses, residents of Paris don't like warehouses. They're kind of tired of gas stations as well, including car washes. Everybody has this conspiracy theory about car washes in Paris because they're just popping up everywhere. I don't know. They're everywhere. You can't disagree. And I'm in opposition with this project specifically because within this mile radius, we have 6 gas stations, I believe, 7 gas stations, 6 car washes already. I don't see the need to add another one next to a neighborhood, which is just not a great place. It's like you have noise pollution, you have light pollution to these houses. You're bringing in these fumes, gas fumes, to these children. There's a Paragon Park down the street. No one's gonna want their kids going to a convenience store. And on another note, I read all the letters from these residents, which is cool and all, but they're all copied paste, from the developer. I assume, but I have never gone to the gas station and be like, I'm gonna get me a nice healthy apple, banana, a snack. It's not true. I go in there, I get a honey bun, I get an energy drink. That's the truth. People aren't going to a gas station to eat healthy. They're not counting calories at a gas station. That's just not true. And I think this definitely, Paris Boulevard should be more catered to local businesses. We need more of that in Paris, more sit down to eat areas. But I don't know what the situation on this one, but I just don't think Paris is in need of another gas station as well, which is so crazy because now it's gas stations and warehouses, which is so fun. But especially the truck fueling part of it is just, you're bringing semis closer to neighborhoods, which is like, it just doesn't make any sense. Maybe it should be a different store. And also, just reminded myself, there's a Dollar General. If I wanted to get something healthy, you would probably go to the Dollar General. They have a little bit more variety, but it's just not a great plan, and I think it should be revised or changed to something else. But, wish the developer would have tried a little bit harder, because I noticed the addresses were a wide variety of Mid-Valley, Good Hope, and it's so funny because one of these addresses are behind my parents' house. And it's what are you guys doing out there? That's pretty far from us, by the way. I'm not gonna say where, but I just think definitely look into it. But thank you, and hope you guys do good. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm just going in order what I have. Jillian Menez.
Hello again. Again, my name is Jillian Menez. I'm also a resident and also, again, representing Paris Neighbors in Action. Again, I emailed you guys my concerns for this project, and I'm going to reiterate them and elaborate. As he said it, Paris residents are tired of all the gas stations, car washes, and warehouses that are just invading our homes and empty spaces. The surrounding neighbors, the parks, and the schools around this project will be subjected to excess gasoline and diesel exhaust fumes that will be emitted by the patrons of this gas station and then the gas station, the vapors themselves. These vapors and their constituent compounds will be released into the nearby airspace of the residents and will adversely harm their health. Benzene is one that's kind of been in the news a lot recently. It's one that we should all really be aware of. This compound is present in gasoline, and its fumes causes cancer, anemia, harmful birth defects, and it lowers our body's ability to fight off infection. Hey, COVID-19, you don't want to get that. The inclusion of the truck fueling station will increase semi-truck traffic near the surrounding homes, parks, and Valverde Elementary School. This will absolutely expose our neighbors and children to these chemicals on a daily basis. We can put up medians to keep them, try to have them enter in the right places. We do know how well our local semis like to respect our truck routes. But even if they do stay in their designated area, they are still coming within meters of homes and the school and parks, and it's just not a good place The inclusion of this semi-truck fueling section also serves, like I said, just to make it more difficult to enforce those truck routes. So yeah, they can't technically enter from Paris Boulevard, but who's to stop them from telling CHP, well, you know, I was just getting to the gas station. That's an issue. Let's just remove it. It's been the center of the majority of the issues brought up tonight. Let's send it back to ad hoc or send it back and let's just take it out. We're being told time and again by warehouse developers that we shouldn't have any concern for air pollution because soon we will be at all electric fleets. If this is true, then this truck fueling component will become obsolete soon, right? These plans, again, need to be revised and the actual needs of the community need to be addressed. I would very much like to know what the residents were told to make them sign their names onto the applicant's pre-written support letters. Not a single one mentioned a desire for more truck fueling stations. Most of them mentioned the possibility to grab and go, healthy options. Assuming that we're going to the gas station for apples and bananas, does that not tell you that we have a different need in community? People aren't excited for the gas. They want healthy.
Well, okay, thank you very much. Thank you. At this time, we have Victor Martinez.
Greetings. My name is Victor Martinez. That's Martinez. I am a local resident. I would like to voice my support for the plan because, quite simply, this means more jobs, more revenue for the city. As it stands right now, most of the truck traffic that we're getting on the 215 and Ramona is going to a truck stop that is giving revenue to the county of Riverside and not to the city. So I think there's a huge advantage to be taken from building in the city of Paris, as that's going to go towards the city. And I also like that the fact that the trucks and diesels will be separate from most of the regular traffic, so a lot of that's not going to be funneled and congesting more of Paris Boulevard. And finally, for what it's worth, I know convenience stores aren't glamorous, but as a diabetic, I kind of live by them sometimes. I have low blood sugar a lot of the time. Their convenience is very much needed for me. I've had to walk and get a soda or something at like 12 a.m. sometimes, and that's the only place you can go. And in short, I want to reiterate my support for the plan. Thank you.
Thank you very much. If I get this right, Keandre Johnson. Okay. Oh, okay.
I just want to say you guys did good because these chairs, super uncomfortable, you guys are doing for like hours. My name is Keandre Johnson. I'm here to show support for the building of this establishment. I just wanted to state that I'm currently in the process of becoming a truck driver. I know that this establishment by far is not a truck stop, but the fact is that it is still showing convenience for not only trucks, but also EV driving, which, as was previously stated, is something that's coming in the future. The one thing that I've been told in all the time of being mentored into being a truck driver is that it's not the healthiest food options as you're traveling. Donuts, hot dogs are a very common thing. So I personally will be very excited to see some apples and bananas. That's just me. In conclusion, I'm going to keep it short. I just wanted to say I'm in full support of this building and the project. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Okay. Malik Siopo.
Yes, hello, my name is Malik Tiofil. It's going to be Tiofil. And I'm basically saying that I'm in support, of course. I'm a resident locally, and I do feel like it would bring a lot of revenue and as well as jobs to the nearby area. And I feel like that's very important with the current ecosystem, of course. Things aren't always the greatest, and I feel like it's very great as well that they implemented certain things to make it more accessible to trucks, which of course it's not the only targeted audience, I'm aware. But it will definitely alleviate and create another avenue for the trucks that oftentimes congest North Paris. So I'm definitely in full support of the project.
Okay, thank you very much. We have Eric Espinoza and Tanya Saavedra. Okay. I'm trying.
Good evening. My name is Eric Espinoza. I'm a resident here in Paris, and I support the project. I just wanted to give my 2 cents. Basically, for the jobs, I keep reading that Riverside County's got some of the highest unemployment in the state, probably 1% higher from the county I moved in, and we're just going in the wrong direction. So any jobs that can be brought in here will bring revenue to homes, to families, to the city, and it's just it's a difficult job market. And I help my daughter when she's not going to school full-time, find employment, and it's always, hey, I found you a job in Murrieta or Corona or Lake Elsinore. It's never here in our backyard. And I just don't understand why. And every time I go out in the community, I see more people out in the street. And sometimes they're able-bodied people, and we're not giving them the opportunity. So I definitely support people that are investing in our communities. I wish them well.
Yeah.
Hi, good evening. My name's Tanya. I am also speaking in favor for this project. As a smaller female, going to a gas station, especially when it's dark, it's pretty scary. Thankfully, with the gas station being well lit and the cameras, they've said about 40, I believe, if I'm not wrong, it seems a lot safer, and I feel like I'd be a lot more comfortable in pumping gas in a place like that. Also, as it was mentioned before, too, I like the fact that the diesel trucks will be kept aside to avoid traffic and all that. But yes, I am in favor for this project.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm being tested here today. Maleka, and always help me if I do it wrong. Maleka Jofu, so help me out. Okay.
Good evening, Chair and Commissioners. I'm in favor of this, mainly because I think, and I'm from.
Maybe just pull it. Yeah.
Can you hear me better?
Okay.
Okay. I am a resident of Paradis, but a new resident. We just moved up from San Diego, so I'm getting adjusted and used to things up here. The first thing I saw is that there's a lot of old areas. So I'm all for anything that's going to be new, modernized, have EV ports and things of that nature. I also like the fact that it will alleviate some of the pressure off of Paris Boulevard. There's a lot of potholes and things that tear up the cars. And I notice a lot of trucks. We're not going to do anything about the trucks for this area in general. But I'm all for anything that is creating jobs. And it does look like it's going to be a nice, safe, beautiful place for people to go and get gas, wash their car, or, convenience store. Thank you. I am in favor of this.
Thank you very much. Okay. Nichelle Gordon.
Hi, I'm Nichelle. Do you need me to spell my last name?
Yeah.
Gordon. Okay. I'm in support of the project. I do appreciate the mentioning of healthier food options in the convenience stores. I know that's not a big deal to some people, but to people like me, it is. So short and sweet with that, I am in favor of this project.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, let's try this. Keone Brinson.
You were close. It's Keon.
Okay, thank you.
I'm here to show support for this project. I'm a local resident. I live over off of Paris and Ryder, and it's kind of right in between the bundles of other stores and gas stations. And I come from an area where I like to be able to walk or skateboard to local conveniences and things like that. I do appreciate the potential for healthier options in any store. I feel like a lot of people have different understandings or desires when they go into these stores. But me personally, I would like to see healthier options. And I'm definitely looking forward to Costco-rated gas prices. Like, that sounds like a great idea to me. But I am considering switching over to electric soon. So those 8 charging stations sound like a good idea, in my opinion. So I'm here to show support. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, Samira Salau, help me out.
Hi, good evening. I'm Samir Salau. I've lived in Paris for 15 plus years. I want to keep it brief, but I am in support of the construction site. It's beautiful, very well lit. Paris is definitely in need of newer, modern buildings, so I think this is a good addition. We have a lot of families moving out, causing a lot of traffic at the other gas stations like Walmart and Foufoulet, so I think this will help ease some of that wait time, also bringing more low gas prices to Paris. But yeah, I think it would give the residents just more options to choose from, and I'm sure this convenience store and the gas station, the car wash, would just be useful for residents and bring new job opportunities. So I'm in support of this. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I know I'm gonna miss this one. Tyra, tell me out, Tyra Salau. So, help. I'm flying blind here, guys.
Good evening. Can you guys hear me?
Uh-huh.
Good evening. I'm Tyra. Tyra Salau, Tsalau. I want to keep it short and sweet. I'm in favor for the project. I like the idea of an independent gas station brand offering cheaper or similar gas to Costco. And I'm also in it for the full-time and part-time job openings that are to come with the building. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Obviously, anyone else in the public that would like to, sure, come forward and state your full name and spell your last name for us. Sure.
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Michelle Vallejo. My last name is spelled Vallejo. And I've been a resident of Paris now for 19 years. And during those 19 years, I have seen a lot of improvement. So I'm very proud to be living in Paris. I love it here. And I can't wait till, another 20 years from now, what it's going to be like. I think this project that's been proposed is, it's great. I think it's just another item that is going to beautify our city. When you drive down Paris Boulevard right now, the only gas stations I'm aware of are the ones that are way down at the corner of Ramona and Paris Boulevard, or at the other end near Nuevo, I think it is. So we don't really have anything in between. And the one at Placentia that is proposed is going to be a great addition, because there's times I'll be traveling down Paris Boulevard to get to the Cardenas Market or to Walmart, and just having that gas station there, I would rather go to that gas station than the ones that are at the other ends, because they're just too congested. We need more access so that we don't feel like we're having to sit there and wait. So I'm definitely in favor of this project. I do support it. And I think it's going to be a great asset to the city. And of course, it's going to generate more revenue. It's going to bring more jobs. And I'd rather look at that gas station than a field full of weeds. So once again, I really do support that. And I know people that I've spoken with, my friends, they're in support of it as well. So thank you so much for considering my opinion. Have a good evening.
Thank you very much. Anyone else from the public? Okay. As always, just state your full, I know we saw you before, but state your full name and spell your last name for us.
Yesenia Contreras, Contreras. I just want to say, I think it's really wild that developers will come into our community and pay people off or offer whatever they offer to these people to come speak, because genuinely, I know, and I'm pretty sure y'all know too, nobody cares this much about a car wash or a gas station. People wouldn't be here unless they were incentivized. And I just think it's really wild that people in the audience here are willing to sell out against their own community when we're already disproportionately affected by environmental racism. I oppose this project. I think it's bad. Air pollution's bad. I'm worried about traffic. There's homes and schools nearby and parks nearby. I don't think this is a good project, and I don't think we need it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anyone else? Okay. Whoever speak now, wherever hold your peace. Okay, thank you very much. We close the public comment portion. Thank you for your comments. And I can always say, if you have any more comments, now's the time. Okay, we'll close the public comment portion. And now the developer. As always, the developer, you have an opportunity to respond if you'd like to, any way you'd like to.
I just wanted to say thanks for working with Alfredo, Brad, Patricia, Kenneth, and everybody in your staff's been wonderful to work with. And yeah, we look forward to it. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you very much. And we close the public hearing portion and bring it to the Planning Commission for now discussion. No, you're going to have it. So.
Just want to start off by thanking the applicant for just being so willing to work with us on the certain concerns that we have with this project. I feel like you hit every nail that we every request that we asked for. So I really appreciate that. You're very easy to work with. I do think this project is currently located at a good spot. It's such a did need that gas station, especially because the on-ramp for the 215 is going to alleviate a lot of the traffic from Ramon Expressway and Nuevo. And it's just going to be more conveniently located, so less travel time for the residents in that area, as far as having to go up and south for fueling. The project looks good. There's 23% landscaping. I feel like they went above and beyond with this project, so I do support it.
Thank you, first of all, to the applicant for the presentation, being part of the ad hoc meeting. I think it's a really good example of being able to work with an applicant and see both sides. And at this point, there was 2 ad hoc meetings, so that means that the applicant was really putting 110% into making the city happy and making sure that they were providing a quality product. That being said, I do appreciate the fact that there is a convenience store available to the residents in the area. Another thing I need to point out is that it is on a truck route, so I understand the concerns about the trucks. However, it is on the truck route. So when we always tend to go back and forth with developers who want to put a warehouse or something that is not on the truck route, then we're like, well, how are you going to ensure that those trucks go directly to the truck route? This is on the truck route, and I do hope that it attracts the trucks to stay on the truck route. And just not deviate from that. Wishful thinking, I know, because we've experienced our drivers in the city, and it's frustrating, but I believe that is something that would add to keeping them there, incentivize them instead of having to go somewhere else. Well, there's fueling, it's on the truck route, might as well stay on it. I do like the EV component of it, especially because it's something that our residents do need. Our city's growing, and there is changing. Ourselves, we've started to change over to EV. We're not completely EV yet because you haven't convinced me completely to go electric yet. However, exactly infrastructure, but this is definitely in that step. Listening to what the community leaders step forward. The 21% landscape. You guys know that I am a landscape person. Like, we've become like this landscape loving planning commission that everybody loves, and that's something that I'm very proud of, being up here for that. And when the applicants come and they listen to us and they bring it in, this is going to be very well landscaped. I can see it, and it looks like there's potential for future development, and I hope to see that developed very soon as well. That's something that we're looking forward to as well. So I think the family-owned component is also a very nice touch. I really appreciate that, because if we invested more in our small businesses in this community, I think that we would see it be a closer knit community, and it'd be tighter. And we always know that these tax dollars go to the city. So with that said, I thank everyone. Thank you.
I want to echo what my fellow commissioner said, that the ad hocs have been very fruitful. They've been very responsive. There's been a lot of effort to mitigate, separate truck traffic from automobile traffic. It is on the truck route. It is another gas station, another car wash. But I think in doing, because we do deep dives into the packages we get, and I think my biggest concern with this one is that when I'm looking at the supporting, most of the street names do not match up to what is around where it's going to be built. Very few. Most of them are from very extended areas, very up north Paris and very south Paris. A lot of Monuevo where there's gas stations. So I would have liked to see, I would have had more confidence in the project if there was more outreach to the community directly in front of it. Like there was a lot from that street, like right across that lower street. There was a couple that were from there, a few sprinkled throughout. But most of those letters are from outside of the direct impact or vicinity of where this project is located. So I think that's where I'm a little bit hesitant, because I feel like maybe there wasn't as much, like knocking doors, I get, but people work, they're not always answering doors. I know I'm busy on weekends, I'm usually not home. So I think that is my hesitancy with the project, is I didn't see a lot of letters from direct areas that are going to be impacted from the homeowners in that area.
I think of course, I think the architecture of this is much improved from both ad hoc meetings. So I appreciate the applicant working with us on that end through both ad hoc meetings that we had. The concern I did have is the availability of the vehicle traffic impeding into the truck lanes and stuff like that. So I believe it definitely needs to be cut off, perhaps either with the chain or even a rolling curb to probably prohibit some traffic to be in there. I mean, if you don't put a chain, if you don't physically block it off, people will be driving in it. You can't 100% stop people from traveling in there. Even people is coming down, they want to get on Placentia. They're not always going to go back to Paris Boulevard and come back up southbound to Placentia to turn right on there. So that is most likely going to be an ongoing issue no matter how much signage we put up there. I do like the fact that we do have 23% landscaping in there, even though some of it is actually reserved for an easement for the drainage channel that's going to be in that area. So that's where we get a lot of the 23%, or a lot of the landscape percentage is from that area. And during the ad hoc meeting, I did question the owner regarding the first parcel that's just north of this and when he plans on developing it. If I'm not incorrect, then he was planning on developing it relatively quickly. And perhaps it's got to be some type of restaurant or something like that is kind of what it was kind of leaning towards. But it is a parcel that, it open to options for many things can go there. Hopefully another convenience type store or that can actually be beneficial to the neighborhood as well. And I hope the applicant is really aware of what he suggested, that more healthy choices are going to be in the restaurant, because it sounds like the applicants are really, or the residents are really wanting that type of store to have at least an option for some healthy items and to be eaten and for convenience. And the fact that this is going to be open 24 hours when at this time Walmart is not open 24 hours, that you can go grab some food or chips or something like that within the local area, it'll be beneficial. So that's it.
Okay, I won't prolong the agony for you. And I agree with my fellow commissioners. One of the reasons we have ad hoc committee, because they do the grilling first, then you really come to us. So if you get to ad hoc committee, you need to get by them. Because we trust each other. So they're going to ask what we ask, and it's best to respond. Catch my drift. But we appreciate the openness and the fact that it's a family-owned. First observation, I said another car wash. We have Car Wash City. That's where I'll be in the middle lane. That's going to be our theme pretty soon. But if that's the demand, that's economic thing. It's an economic decision. One thing, too, I'm going to hold to, and we're going to really stick to this. 3 basic elements that we're going to insist upon. Security. I'm tired of the security these places, and I've been here 34 years. Okay, so I know Paris. Okay, long before some of y'all, I was here when there's nothing. Okay, nothing but dirt. So before Walmart, before this stuff, before the theater that's been torn down, before this stuff, I was here and it was flat. Nothing. Nobody even talked about warehouses in 1990. Okay, so now we're starting to see, and people would spit on this city in the 90s, literally spit. You know, like it's some biker thing. What are you? But now everyone wants to come here because we've. Look at the terrorists now. They want to come here. They want to build. So that's just a difference in errors. So we've raised the bar as the planning commissioner, probably the only ones in the whole Riverside County that do. We've raised the bars where we want quality stuff. And this is one of those projects where I almost predicted it would be this kind of thing on the corner there. But what we want to say is aesthetically beautiful, must be secure, lighting, it's going to be 24 hours, cleanliness. You know, I get tired of these places and it's just there's dirt all over the place. They just need to be clean. That's a commitment we need from you. Okay, clean. Because some of these places, I almost feel like getting a broom myself. Okay. The other one is healthy foods. Yeah, and I know if we say that, but if you commit to that, some healthy foods, that would make a difference. And you've already heard residents say that, but that would be an aberration for most of them because you go grab a candy. Didn't the city have an ordinance about foods? And they wanted to have local food. I don't know if it was just the big chains, but I thought it's supposed to be healthy food options. Well, this would be one of those things that would meet that option. So healthy foods is another good thing about it. At first I looked at the design and said, you got to be kidding, this is awfully plain. So I'm not all at 100% with the design. I know modern, but there's better modern stuff. But I'll yield to that one because we have an architect here. But I'm just personal about that. But anyway, one of the things we can't control what the trucks do, because we know trucks in Paris do what they want. We kind of did something on Ramon Expressway. They still do it. They need to be ticketed. Tickets stop trucks, illegal trucks. When you start writing them $500 to $1,000 tickets, that kind of stops things. It hits the pocketbook. But what you do on your site is put up signs, you give them notices, and that's what no one gives us, we're the ones that push that. Signs, notices that this is the truck route, this is what you do. Well, that's all you can do is enforce that. You can't enforce it. But we want to make sure there's a separation of cars and vehicles when they come out, and they are going to be ones that come out in the south, let's be honest. Okay, this is Paris. But we want them to go that direction, they're going to do that. But the only reason they would do that is they would go on the freeway. But we want to make it to where they turn and come down Paris Boulevard, and at the northern, come down Paris Boulevard. That comes signage helps, but also arrows, like she mentioned, you want to make those, and that's all we can do is present that. So I don't have a problem with this design. Other than that, I don't have a problem. It's just those are elements that are very important. Keep it clean, make sure it's secure. Since it's 24 hours, it has to be secure. You know, that's one of those things where, this is a CUP, right?
It's a development plan review and a map because of the 2 parcels that are being created.
But there's a CUP, I must have missed it.
No, there's
there
no
isn't.
conditional use permit.
Okay. Not sure about that one. But anyway, usually you do that because if there's problems, okay. But anyway, I don't have any problem with it. I think the idea if the community wants to do it, it's a convenience for them, and it's close for them. But I agree, there should be, maybe they just didn't respond, the ones that are close by. That's not on you. But if you went to them, you make the outreach, that's all you can do. And if they respond, they don't. You know, but we always say, let's do the outreach. You know. But anyway, I'm done. I think there were no real changes other than, I think you clarified the fact that what's going to happen on Placentia and turning left into there to make sure that's in the engineering, that we're really specific about there's going to be 180 foot, and I think needs to be wording in there. That if you're going to turn that, let's put it in there. And when let's do it on tape. I'm doing it on tape on purpose. And I'm I'm making it on tape because I'm making a legal record of what I'm saying is that we need that left turn lane there. So that's important. That's why I say a lot of things, not just to talk. I want it on the record. So when we talk about healthy foods, on the record. Okay? When we talk about cleanliness, it's on the record. And we talk about these things on the record. So if it ever goes to council, it's on the record. Okay? That's why I do all these things over the years. It's not to beat up, it's just I want it on the record. Okay, I'm done. I appreciate the landscaping, and that's one of those things that makes it key. And if there's any more comments or any more things we have, I think I've beaten this thing up. So with that, I think we move on to a motion. I'll read it. This is tentative parcel map 22-05050 TPM 38368 and development plan review DPR 22-00029. Proposal to subdivide an existing 3-acre parcel into 2 lots for the construction of a 5,490 square foot convenience store with a 2,579 foot attached automated car wash, a 4,567 square foot canopy for passenger vehicles fueling, and a 630 square foot canopy for trucks fueling. Located in the northwest corner of Placentia Avenue and North Paris Boulevard in the commercial zone of the Paris Valley Commerce Center specific plan. The result, the action is to adopt Resolution 24-08, finding the project is categorically exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act, review pursuant to Section 15332, infill development projects, and approving tentative parcel map 22-05050 TPM, or TMP, 38368, and development plan review 22-00029. Based on the findings and subject conditions of approval, and I don't know that there were any additions to this. Potential vision for the trucking and the, okay, so they work with staff, that would be administrative, or do you want to put administrative? Yeah. Okay, okay. I think you got that, administrative, some kind of barrier. Yeah, we'll let you work with that. Okay. And we need a motion. To say it verbally, I guess. Commissioner Gomez is moved and seconded by Vice Chairman Schreiber.
Commissioner Gomez,
Yes.
Commissioner Lopez,
Yes.
Commissioner Jimenez,
No?
Vice Chair Shively,
Yes.
Chair Hammond.
Yes. Mhm.
With a vote of 4 yes and 1 no, this motion is approved.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your patience, comments. With that, we move on. What was it 9:40 now? We now we move on to public comments. Anyone who wishes to address the Planning Commission regarding items not on the agenda may do so at this time. And they can walk up to the podium and wait for the chairperson to recognize you. And seeing currently that there's no one, we close the public comment and move on to business item, and I don't believe there's a business item. Okay. There's a business item? Okay. 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 No business item, we move on to commission members' announcements or reports. Go.
Yeah, I know it's been a few weeks since we last met. We passed the 4th of July fireworks. I just want to give a shout out to Public Works, Community Services, and Parks for hosting such a great event. I also want to say thank you for everyone that came out to today's meeting. Very informative. I'm excited to see all the future developments. especially on that side of the city, on Orange and Paris Boulevard. We still have a lot of open land that needs to get developed there, so I'm excited to see that. And besides, I just want to wish everybody a good night.
Yes, the fireworks display was, I just love it. I mean, if the city's gonna put their money somewhere, like, that is a family moment. It just embarks everything that's America, right? The birth of our nation, being a patriot, teaching your children how to be patriots, you know, being proud of born and raised, and for those who are here, and the opportunities that it's brought. I mean, yeah, we're in a very difficult time right now, but, you know, you gotta be able to see through that and understand that this is what democracy looks like, right? It can get messy, and it's messy right now, but we have the opportunity to do something about it, right? We have the right to vote, and it's just incredible to be able to enjoy that. I love the drone component, and I thought it was just great because I've never seen one before. It was very impressive. I was like, how are they going to do it? It's literally individual drones, like in marching, you know, and coming together in sync. And it was really impressive to see. My son was in awe. Like, you know, Matthew he just loved it. And I love the fact that it didn't scare the pets. It didn't, you know, it wasn't affecting our veterans with, you know, you know, and it was just a great thing. And then the fireworks after was like just the whipped cream and the cherry on top. That could have been shorter, I think. You know what I mean? Like in the future, no, wait, you know what I mean? Like, just for the sake of the noise. Like if they can make quiet fireworks. Yeah, I just heard it. No, never mind. I take it back. It was great. I love that part too. And we had headphones for Luke, and he wanted to take them off, and he took them off, and so he was listening, and I just made sure I covered his ears. But it was my baby's first fireworks. I don't know that he'll remember it, but we have a video, and it was in the backyard of my backyard, so that was a plus. So it was walking distance. My mom was able to walk. It was great. So thank you to the City of Paris. Thank you to Community Services, Public Works, everyone involved to make this happen. Our church was able to fundraise. We sold tamales, and it was really nice too. So I was there helping them out, and I just love the whole family vibe. Like that for me was great. So thank you so much. And I know there's a lot of activities coming up. There's still the movies in the park and all that good stuff that the city puts together. In this heat, staff being out there, like I commend you. And really, and we also make the sacrifice to go out there because as soon as it gets, you know, cools down. But yeah, that's all I have to report. And thank you to everybody coming out today and expressing their opinions, and the applicants working with us, making these changes. Like it does happen, you know, they actually can come, they can meet us in the middle. So thank you everyone so much.
I also went to the fireworks show. We actually had family in from Colombia for my daughter's quinceañera that Saturday. So we're like, you know, how do we entertain them? Let's go watch fireworks. And I think they recorded the whole thing, and we're taking pictures and selfies with the fireworks in the background. And they said it felt like they were in one of those movies that they watch, and, you know, it's the U.S. celebrating their Independence Day, and they loved it. So thank you for helping me entertain guests. It was beautiful. Same, the drone show, and then, you know, fireworks always hit the spot. Fireworks, just with the music going on, it was just beautiful. Other than that, yeah, a lot of events coming up. Stay cool. It's going to be heating up a lot over the next couple of days. Find places to stay cool if you don't have AC. And then you know, that last item really got me in my feels, because we like the whole city impact, but it's really important when you're living right across the street from a development to hear from those people, the ones that are directly impacted. And I know I said it before, I really wish our applicants and developers would show us the effort that was made in order to reach out, because, you know, I don't open my door. If somebody comes knocking on my door, I can guarantee you I will never open the door unless I know who you are, ever. I'll be watching you on the ring, but I'm not going to answer. So I think, letters, like more effort, different type of efforts, reaching out differently, because I just put my family living there. Like if I bought that house and there wasn't a gas station across the street or that close by, like I think of the worst. And would I really buy there? Was I going to do for my house value? And I think that's where my holdup was, like what really was effort. So I think with things that would have an environmental impact, potentially, worst case scenario. When I grew up in Paramount, the refinery was right there, and we were evacuated a few times, because you have to think about the potential worst case scenario of where you live. And when you buy houses and things are already there, it's one thing, but to have things come up, I think it's great. I think it's accessible. Can guarantee I'm probably going to go there. But I really would have liked to see more outreach to those residents directly across the street and those impacted the most with traffic and all.
So I was very impressed. I had an opportunity to go to this Lake Paris, the actual lake portion of it, and very impressed with how many people actually went to or go to Lake Paris. And the lake was surrounded with tents and canopies, and 3 canopies deep from the water, which was incredible. I was just like, this is nice to see people out there using their boats and all that. So I was quite impressed to see that. That's it.
Wow, that's it, too? I won't prolong it too much, I promise. Only 2 hours this time. No. I'm going to look from the city attorney. What you had in mind? No. One of the things, too, I come back from Hawaii, but I had to babysit my grandson, which is not exactly twisting my arm. Right? So you're going, that's all there is to it. Okay. You have to twist my arm to go there. So I got back, maybe that's Monday. There's no way I was going anywhere. 5 hours of the plane. But one of the things I will say, too, I appreciate staff, and I appreciate all the work that's done. I know we get on you, but it's for a reason, because we have a good staff. We have good city staff. There's no question about it. What I make suggestion now, 2 suggestions. One, this might help too, and this may be something we want to sit to go to Kennedy level. I think developers, applicants, and all that may need a workshop from the city on how to reach the public. This is something I would do if as a LA person who's working there. We would do something like that. Don't just assume they know what to do. Come here and give them a workshop. So you're not telling them you have to do it. How do you reach the community? There are experts who know how to do that. How do you do it? Don't just send them something. How do you reach them? Is this the best way to do it? Is this the best way to do it? So that might help. That's on the city to do, not the planning commission. So that would help this kind of avenue. So they say, okay, how do you reach residents like that? Oh, I went to the door. Maybe that's not the best approach. What is the best road? What is tried in practice? So that's my suggestion. For that, that may be something, I take the Kenneth level, and I'll do it at Clara level, I don't care. But I mean, that's something that would help in this avenue so that they know that how do you reach them? Oh, we sent it to 300 home. Really? What did you send to them? They, how do you reach them? Oh, and it becomes a positive thing for the city. You'd be the only one doing it too. That helps your council out. It makes them look good. That's why you do it. Okay, so you start saying, this is how you do it. Get them. They'll show up here. You'll have 300-400 of them here because they want to know how to reach the public in the city of Paris, because this is unique. Especially the developers who need it. You can beat up. So how do you reach them? The other thing, too, to agendize, we'll make sure that if we want to talk about cleanup of like the Paris Plaza, on that, we know we can't do it a specific item, but we may want to agendize items to where that whole entire spectrum, we don't want to be on them to beat them up, but maybe we can figure out some way other than just code enforcement and sending them letters. That we can talk to them and say, look, what are you going to do about the landscaping overall? What do you do with that? Then it becomes agendized, Brown Act. And so then you can talk to them and say, okay, what are the plans in a nice way? What do you plan to do with it? Oh, we're going to restripe it in 50. No. We have weeds growing on the property. No. Why? What is Rite Aid's problem? Okay? In a total disgusting landscape. Well, we don't have to just come to you guys. We can say, let's come here and let's have a nice discussion. It becomes a workshop session and not necessarily something they're coming for. I think that would work better. And then you can bring code enforcement. And then they could explain, this tenant moved out. Okay. But that would help project by project that gets away from the specifics. So I'm just giving you a way of helping. I should be a consultant too. Yeah, so I think that would be more helpful, but in a positive way. I mean, I'm being very positive. So you bring the guy, especially that development where they're tearing down the Target, and I won't even go there. When you're doing that kind of stuff in conjunction, well, what about the landscaping? What about the plants that are going dead? What do we do about the overall? That way you can discuss it without being very specific about a particular project. I think that would help. That would help you. And I think that's a more positive approach. So those are two things. One of them is really big. But, I mean, if necessary, I will go directly to the mayor if necessary. Because that's one of the things that would help the city. And that's one of those things where outreach is a big issue. You know, it didn't reach me, well, okay, whose fault is that? No, we can't do it. Anyway, those are my two items. I'm good, and I'm going to turn it over to you, and I appreciate it. It's going to be hot, but maybe we can stay cool in here.
Thank you. It's so nice to see you back again. It's been a little while since we had our last meeting. I was missing it.
Yeah, I see, yeah.
We were like, how do we do our planning commission packets again?
I know, I almost forgot how to do this. How do you run the meeting? What are you talking about?
So I just want to prep you. Our next two meetings in August are going to be pretty hefty. So for August 7th, I'm just going to give you a preview right now. We have a development that consists of commercial component and also changing the zone from commercial to industrial for development of a 291,000 warehouse. And this is on Ramona Expressway between Redlands and Paris Boulevard. We also have the item that was continued from June 5th. I don't know if you remember it. It was the warehouse south of the Eastern Municipal Water District sewer plant with the hotel and the self-storage facility and the commercial component towards Ethanek. So we're bringing back on August 7th. We're also bringing you two projects that required scoping meetings. So the first one is for, it's called Paris Gateway, and it's at the northwest corner of Ramona Expressway and Nevada. I want to say it's east of the 215 freeway? Yes. And the second item is another scoping meeting, and this is for, it's a big project. It involves 4.3 million square feet of industrial warehouses. How many? 4.3 million. So that's for August 7th. And I'll save you the preview for the next meeting when we come back on August 7th. So that we can get back together again.
Yeah, I know.
I do want to give you a quick update. I know there's concerns with the maintenance of the shopping centers. I'm not sure if all of you are aware, there's a beautification committee that takes place. And code enforcement is working with them on the two shopping centers that were mentioned today, the Spectrum and the Paris, the Plaza. And I know they've made a really good progress with the Spectrum that was here tonight. And they indicated that they've been really easy to work with. It's been challenging to work with Paris, the Plaza. But they're still working, trying to get management to work with them on the landscaping. But code enforcement, they do the noticing, and then they start sending, what are they called? Notice of violations, where they start charging, and I'm not sure how the amount that they charge, but I know they've been working really close with those two shopping centers. So I'm glad that you brought it up tonight, so that I can give you an update. I like the idea of presenting a workshop. I just want to let you know that it's usually the developers who engage with somebody who is an expert in doing public outreach. And I've seen them only with like large projects where they're interested in making sure that they really reach out to the community. I haven't seen it with smaller projects, but I will have the discussion with Kenneth about the suggestion. It's not a bad suggestion. I also wanted to update you on the request to schedule a tour of the Eastern Municipal Water District facility. I did reach out to them. They're excited. In fact, one of the directors wanted to be part of the tour with us. And he said if he would be okay with that, and I said absolutely. So Sylvia will be working with this commission to find out some dates that will work best for you, and then we'll keep the communication with Eastern Municipal Water District to schedule a date that works for everybody. So it's really exciting. He did mention that they have some areas that are outdoor and some areas that are indoor. So it's something to think about when we come up with a date, especially during the summer because it gets pretty hot. But I know that some of you are on vacation, so it makes it easier for the flexibility of timing. So just think, something to think about when you guys offer some dates to Sylvia for the tour. And then some events coming up. As you mentioned, Commissioner Gomez, we have the Movies in the Park. We have one coming up at Rotary Park on July 26th, and the featuring movie is Blue Beetle. So, and that's all I have to report. Thank you so much. Nice to see you again.
Thank you, as always, Patricia. You're always helpful, and you always step right in there, and we appreciate it, and we appreciate Sylvia. I'm not going to go have a meeting and not thank Sylvia here. I'll pay her later under the tape. No. But I always appreciate Sylvia. And I think he's still there. Yeah. And if we do the EMWD, you got to have gas masks, okay? So you might get knocked out. So, okay. So with that, thank you very much. If you look at August as the dates, it's going to be hot, so you have to make that consideration. But then it's time off, so give us some dates. But thank you for that. We adjourn this meeting, and we're going to get busy, so we better have some caviar, steak, food, things like that, as the meeting says. 12 midnight. Yeah. And we adjourn this meeting. I should do like the mayor does. Yeah, at 9:58 p.m. I know, not bad. We just beat our bylaws.